Everybody, thank you for joining. You're watching MMA Complete Podcast. This is episode 19 of live stream. This is like episode 24 total. Here with Mark. Thanks for coming, buddy. Austin should be coming over soon. Austin's dealing with something right now, so we're going to give him some respect. Hope you're doing good out there, bud. We are jumping right into UFC 256.
Oh, yeah.
So we live streamed it last weekend, and to everybody who tuned in and got us to 5,000 likes, really appreciate that. Definitely come check us out January 23rd. When we live stream UFC 257 as well. That's going to be even better card. We're not going to get into that too much today because we have so much to cover. But that's Connor. So, I mean, that's going to be the card. That's going to be the card that everybody wants to watch.
Yeah, only man did it.
Real. So, UFC 256 I thought that it was a pretty great card start to finish. You know, we usually get bored around like the 4-hour mark, there was a little bit of that, but we had enough fights that kept us interested. We had a couple knockouts, a couple stoppages, including the first fight of the night, Chase Hooper.
Yeah, right?
That was, in my opinion, I mean, we'll get into the fight of the night later, but that was one of the best performances of a single fighter, I thought, of that entire card.
Really? With Chase Hooper?
I thought Chase Hooper he lost the first 2 rounds. He got hurt. His leg got hurt.
Yeah. Couldn't show up hard.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
And then the third round, he comes back, it's an Imanari roll, and then eventually cinches in a leg lock to fucking get the guy to tap.
It was good.
From a 21-year-old showing that display of heart, that's impressive.
You know the guy he was fighting?
I can't remember his name.
Barrett was his last name.
Barrett, yep.
Trains under Lauzon, actually, here in Massachusetts.
No shit.
So we were rooting on him for that fight.
Right. Dude, I didn't even know that. Those of you who don't know, Mark is actually you just train. So he goes to jiu-jitsu school. He trains. I think you go like a couple times a week.
Yeah,
you try to go as much as you can. And Joe Lozon has made an appearance at your gym.
It's pretty fucking cool. I guess he's got a partnership with the master.
That's awesome. That's so sick. I remember watching him back in the day, way back in the day.
Some vicious brawls.
Yeah, he did. Lightweight, right?
Yeah.
Goes to show you how fucking like some kids from Tiverton, like meeting all these people. I mean, something I want to try to get into too.
Come by for a class. I'll hook you up.
Dude, I would love to. So I can't remember his first name. You remember? So Chase Hooper defeated another fighter with the last name Barrett. His first name escapes me right now. By third round submission, in what ended up being the fight of the night, the submission of the night.
It was very good,
and I think it was the only submission of the night.
Yeah.
So I mean, no contest, but it was a great submission in my opinion. We had a couple other great fights, including the first one I want to talk about is Gavin Tucker beating Billy Quarantillo. Gavin Tucker was, remember, the small, really tatted guy?
Yep.
And he ended up winning by a decision, but it was a fight that I thought Gavin Tucker really stepped up, and he's kind of putting his name on the map for the featherweight division. Billy Quarantillo is a vet. Gavin Tucker handled him. I think it was a unanimous decision.
Yeah, he's definitely up and coming. I remember that being a dominant one of the night.
Right. He's 13-1 now, too. So that's the name that you're going to be seeing in the featherweight division probably for a little bit. We also saw Cub Swanson win by knockout over Daniel Pineda.
He was close to losing that one.
He was,
but
he pulled that out.
Cub Swanson.
If I remember it correctly, it was a right hook that just dropped Daniel Pineda.
Yeah, he was moving into him too. Right?
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Beautiful.
So I mean, Cub Swanson, if probably the most seasoned vet that was on the card last night. Cub Swanson's been around for like 10+ years.
Old fighter,
yeah. Great to see him fight. Always great to see these guys fight. It would have been, I find that often, at least in the last couple months, when we see a fighter like that, like a Cub Swanson, to throw a couple other names out there, you got like the Anderson Silvas. You got like there was a heavyweight that just did it. Anyway, we see these veterans come in and they usually lose. So it's good to see Cub Swanson put out a good performance, try to get back into that. Shogun, that's another one I was thinking of. Paul Craig too. Yeah. Paul Craig.
Biehua.
Mauricio Shogun Rua.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah. So Cub Swanson did a great job, and that takes care of the preliminaries. We can get into the main card. I thought that all 5 of these main card fights were very good fights.
It was a perfect card.
And that was one of the reasons that we enjoyed it so much, because from 10 o'clock to 1 in the morning, there wasn't a bad fight, and we were invested in it.
Yeah, everybody. Only at one point does somebody look tired, and it was after he just got done. People just brains out.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, it was. That was hilarious. And if you want to hear more about that, go check out the podcast from last week.
Rick Dillon.
Yeah. And that's a good time for station identification if you don't mind. You're watching MMA Complete. Zach Draco, Mark Tosi, Austin Garvey's on his way at some point. Brought to you by SFBNRI. Check out all SFBNRI platforms, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Periscope, Twitter. We do most of our broadcasting or most of our views on Facebook, so go check that out along with Ron Roberts' personal Facebook page. We have 256 to talk about now. First fight of the night, Junior Dos Santos versus Cyril Gane. Another one of these veterans that gets knocked out. And
yeah,
I had mentioned it. I'm pretty sure I had mentioned it last week, but I know I mentioned it before the fight itself. That Junior Dos Santos is great. He looks great. He's accurate, and he's good moving until he gets hit. Once he gets hit that one time, it's over.
He started turning away, and that's when he got caught by the elbow.
Yeah, and then Cyril Gane just absolutely rushed him, put him on his back. Cyril Gane now 7-0 professionally. He's now 3-0 or 4-0 in the heavyweight division. Came into that fight ranked 15th, and JDS was 7. So we're going to see Cyril Gane probably go to the top 10 of that heavyweight division.
Yeah, wow, Junior Santos 7.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Well, this was the first time JDS hadn't fought someone in the top 5 in like 4 years. You know what I mean? He'd been knocked out twice, or with this fight, he's been knocked out twice now. First by Jairzinho Rozenstruik, 4th in the division. And then now, obviously, Cyril Gane, who's an up-and-comer. Junior Dos Santos, if you're watching this, you probably know what Junior Dos Santos was. The wars he's had with Brock Lesnar, Cain Velasquez, Verdun, all those guys. You know, he was amazing. He was a brilliant striker when he was 30. But now he's 38, and it's unfortunate to see that he's probably taken a turn for the worst. So
yeah, hopefully it gets out before they drag it on too long.
Right. We talk about these cuts that have been happening in the UFC. You know, we haven't seen it yet, but he's going to need to show something, I think, to Dana White for him to continue for much longer.
I think Dana would rather keep a younger guy, honestly.
I agree. And I think that the heavyweight division's it's not full of talent right now, especially when you see the likes of Cyril Gane emerging. But as far as the division itself, it needs someone like Junior Dos Santos just to put in front of these guys who are challenging. You know, he's a great gatekeeper, if you will, at his latter stage of his career.
Yeah, because he can still piece you up really easy.
Absolutely.
As long as you can get a hit in, though, like big enough combo.
We were talking about it, and we knew that Cyril Gane was the favorite, and we knew he was younger, and he was going to be more explosive, but there was still a part of me that I thought Junior Dos Santos would be able to outpoint him and win in a decision, perhaps, but it wasn't the case.
Could not keep that distance.
No. And then we have maybe the knockout. It's a top 5 knockout of the year. Kevin Holland versus Jacare Souza.
Dude, that was amazing.
We were freaking out about that.
Off his back.
I'd never seen that before. So Kevin Holland was in the process of, I think it was full guard.
Yeah, it was
full guard, half guard, somewhat. And Jacare was just trying to get positioning. And then you saw that Kevin Holland landed a straight right from his back.
Onto the foreheads, right?
Yeah, onto his forehead that had Jacare stunned, and you saw him immediately put up his hand to try to block. And then as soon as Jacare tried to get another position, you saw Kevin Holland stiffen up his back, explode his legs out, and land with a straight right to the jaw.
It was the elbow. It was an elbow.
Well, the one from his back, that was a
okay, yeah.
And then he got up, and he was on his knee, and he elbowed him. And that's when Jacare was just up against the cage with his back like this, and it was over.
He stood up like IP Man and just dropped punches on the guy's face.
Yeah, Kevin Holland was brutal, and it was
intense.
Like to deal with that with someone like Jacare, and I know he's older too, but Jacare's
37, right?
I think he's 41.
He is.
Yeah. So Jacare's, jiu-jitsu black belt. He's been around the sport forever.
Yeah.
And he has never been knocked out from someone on the back because I think that there's only been a handful of them.
Probably like 10.
Right. And so Kevin Holland showed that he is not only great grappling because he was able to do this from the ground, and he was able to have the precision and the efficiency to get that strike exactly when he needed it.
Jacare didn't just roll over him either.
No,
he was in that guard for like a good 30 seconds.
Yeah, he was. Which is saying something because the fight only lasted a minute 45.
Yeah. That's enough time for a guy to easily pass, especially if he's so experienced as Jacare is on the ground.
Absolutely. And now Kevin Holland, 5 fights, 5 wins in 2020 for the UFC. I would argue that he's going to be in the top 8 of that division.
So, fun fact, I'm sure you already know. Kamaev, the fight got canceled.
Yes.
Yep. Why not have Kevin Holland fight him? Because Leon Edwards had COVID.
I agree with you, but I think that they're going to remake the Leon Edwards Kamaev fight.
I think
which
so.
I don't agree with.
No, me neither, but it's probably for financial purposes.
That middleweight division with Kevin Holland making that jump and Jack Hermanson falling and now Marvin Vettori being introduced to the top 10, that division just got wide open. So we're going to have to see what Adesanya does in 2021, whether he wants to go back down to middleweight or he sticks at light heavyweight.
Yeah, you can't just keep it floating. It's not the right thing to do.
And it's bad for business, bad for each division. And at the end of the day, it's going to end up costing fighters.
Yeah.
The fighters like a Marvin Vettori.
We're just waiting around. Right. Can't get a fight. And, these guys aren't pulling in big paychecks like Adesanya is.
So, Kevin Holland, definitely a name to look out for in 2021. I think that he's going to have a top 10 opponent probably in the first quarter of 2020 because he fought so often or 2021, excuse me. Fought so often in 2020. 5 wins, 5 fights, and in his last fight, it's not like he broke a sweat.
He got like 3 knockouts this year, right?
Yeah, I think he did.
That's crazy.
And he got a knockout in a minute 40. He was dancing on his way to the
knockout
ring.
of the night.
Man was literally dancing, juking, and jiving. He had Jacare dancing, and then he just knocked that motherfucker out. So Kevin Holland definitely on the up and up. Definitely someone to watch. Someone I'm excited for.
Yeah, that was his test for me personally, and he fucking proved his worth.
I mean, he already has some notable wins over Joaquin Buckley.
Yep.
And he had another one that his name escapes me at the moment, but he had fought in one other fighter in between Joaquin Buckley and Jacare.
Yeah.
So that it's 3 impressive victories in a row to end a 5-fight, or not to end, but to continue a 5-fight win streak. And I think that he's only going to go up from here. I think Jacare is a great test. I don't think he's a top 10 test. I think that Jacare is somewhere in the 15 to 20 range of that division.
Yeah, probably.
So I think when he goes against a younger, tougher opponent, but then again, and one other thing that helped him out with that knockout off the back, obviously, is the fact that this dude has an 81-inch reach.
Yeah,
we were surprised by that when we saw it. It was a 9-inch reach advantage for him.
Yeah, big long arms, dude.
Huge arms. He reminds me of a John Jones, man.
That's where the momentum came from.
Right.
It's fucking insane.
Right.
Holy shit. If he can literally just turn and went dunk.
And if he can piece people up off the back,
oh yeah, that's huge.
That's making it so people don't want to put him on his back. They're going to stand up with him, and that's what Kevin Holland
elbows.
wants.
It's like Tony's elbows. Mm-hmm. If Kevin Holland can get that type of rep and keep people standing, I don't think he can knock everybody out, but I think he can keep his wins with points.
I think that he has a chance to knock anyone out he steps in the ring with.
Yeah.
The Adesanyas and I was going to say Romero's, he's not there, and the Jack Hermansons and the Darren Tills, possibly not because of they're on another level of striking.
I would like to see Darren Till fight.
I would love to see Darren Till. Darren Till was supposed to fight Jack Hermanson.
Really?
Yeah. It was supposed to be. So Darren Till got an injury. Darren Till's injured right now, or at least he was injured a month and a half ago. So it was supposed to be Hermanson versus Till. That got scrapped. It was supposed to be Hermanson versus Holland.
Really? Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was.
And then on 6 days' notice, Holland got COVID, and then they rescheduled him for the pay-per-view a week later.
Better card, honestly.
And then Vettori stepped in and he beat Hermanson. So, I mean, that division is loaded with killers right now, man.
Yeah, it's good to see it prospering. Same with the lightweight division.
Right, and if we can talk about Adesanya all we want, too, but you got Paulo Costa,
who needs animal.
Fucking animal. But he is someone who needs to get a win now. And he needs a win or 2 to stay on top of that division because you have Robert Whittaker as the number 1 contender.
It really does suck getting annihilated by fucking Adesanya like that.
Yeah, it does. He got crapped on. Yeah. Adesanya was far away the better striker. And I mean, Paulo Costa is big and strong, but he is not the level of precision striker that Adesanya is.
Yeah, no, we actually. What do we think is going to be happening with Paulo Costa? Who do you think he's going to be fighting next?
I would like to see Paulo Costa versus Marvin Vettori. Oh, wait. I think, now that I'm thinking of it, I think Paulo Costa might have gotten a fight. Let me look this up real quick.
Of course.
I feel like he may have. The reason I say this is because I follow so many pages on Instagram If you are looking for some good pages on Instagram to follow for upcoming fights and fight news, you can go fight MMA Freak. Freak.MMA. It's my favorite source for it. The UFC Instagram page, obviously. But they have, I remember seeing someone say that he has a fight upcoming. And I might not be able to find it right now. I know it's not against Whitaker, because I'm fairly certain that Whitaker is holding out for Adesanya, as he should.
Yeah, because he's the number one contender.
Right. Same thing with Glover Teixeira in the light heavyweight. He should hold out to get his title shot.
Yeah, Glover should hold out, but he shouldn't be getting if they postpone Glover Teixeira's fight to wait for Jones to get ready, that'll be very upsetting because Glover Teixeira is older in age.
We're gonna have to see what Blachowicz and Adesanya do first.
Yeah, that too.
And by the way, if Adesanya were to beat Blachowicz and keep the light heavyweight title, I think that Glover Teixeira is very dangerous for Israel Adesanya.
Yeah.
Very dangerous.
Oh, yeah.
Tough as shit.
If he doesn't get knocked out, man,
if he doesn't get knocked out, he's going to go after Adesanya. And that's a fight I really want to see.
Want to use that purple belt, too. Not against Glover Teixeira, man. That is not the guy to test your skill on.
Absolutely not. So, I am not able to find... I can't find who I thought I saw a rumor that Paul Costa was going to fight soon. But you also have in that division, and we're going to get on with the rest of the pay-per-view. I just want to talk about the middleweight now that we're here.
Yeah.
So you got Adesanya champ, Robert Whitaker holding number one contender down. That's his.
Yeah.
And then you got Paulo Costa. You got Darren Till. You got Jack Hermanson, Marvin Vettori, Kevin Holland, Uriah Hall, who is
he's actually slowing it.
He's like kind of 10.
Just be Anderson Silva, old Anderson Silva.
Right.
Really old Anderson Silva.
But not only that, I thought Anderson Silva showed a good fight until he got clocked at the end of the third round, and then the fourth round it was over.
Yeah,
like he got clocked at the very end of the third round.
Under 20 significant punches. The entire
was
fight.
It really?
Yeah.
I hate those. Like that's unfortunate to see. But I mean, with someone like Anderson Silva who knows that he can get hit real quick, I expect it.
Yeah.
So the UFC rankings are up to date, and now I can say that the one name we forgot about was Jared Cannonier.
Yeah, he's still in it.
There. He's 3. Jared Cannonier is
really?
vicious.
Okay. Yeah,
he only lost to Whitaker, right? And he had a great third round against Whitaker, so that showed a lot of progress.
Even with a broken arm.
Right.
Good job, man.
We got Darren Till at 4, Marvin Vettori at 5, Jack Hermanson at 6. Then you got Derek Brunson at 7.
Derek Brunson.
And you got Kelvin Gastelum still holding on at 8. Kevin Holland got moved up to 10. And you have Edmund Shabazian over there, too. Edmund Shabazian, former undefeated until he ran into Derek Brunson. He's going to be looking to make a comeback in 2021, too.
Never heard of him before, but I'm interested.
He lost to Derek Brunson because Derek Brunson took him down for 3 rounds. Shabazian has an unorthodox style of striking. He likes to jab and run away, and then viciously come at you. Wow. So, he had a fight against... I can't remember who it was. It was someone who wasn't top 15, but he jabbed and caught a guy 2 or 3 times. And then as soon as he jabbed, the other guy went to go for a takedown. Shabazian stuffed it. And then as soon as the guy came up, Shabazian teed off on him.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So he's an interesting striker. Derek Brunson, the vet, got the better of him, but I think he'll be able to bounce back and he'll be able to make a name for himself top 10. He is good. That's all I got from middleweight, really.
Yeah, so back to the card.
Back to the card. So the other fight was Mackenzie Dern versus Verna Jandiroba. In this fight, we had made jokes about it at the time. We thought it was an unorthodox fight, but it turned out to be a hell of a fight.
Yeah, I was shocked by it.
It was a great fight. And Verna Jandiroba was reeling at the beginning of the fight. She got clocked a couple times. She stayed in it. The second round was Dern's again. Saw Jandiroba put up a little more resistance.
Yeah.
Then the third round was really all Jandiroba. It's unfortunate when you see something like that, especially when it goes to a decision, because you always wonder what would it be in a 5-round fight.
Yeah, because I think that would have gotten finished, honestly.
Right, I think it would have too, and I think Verna was just starting to heat up. But they knew what they were signing up for when they signed for a 3-fight contract or a 3-round fight. Yeah. And so, hats off to Mackenzie Dern. She did very well, but it was
A winnable fight for Jandiroba.
It was definitely a winnable fight.
Yeah.
And
If
now
it had done longer, I could have seen her finishing Dern.
And Jandiroba now moves to 16-2. She was a 16-1 record before this, and Mackenzie Dern goes to 10-1.
Oh, really? So
Yeah.
Dern was
Mackenzie
like
Dern
9-1.
Mackenzie Dern is now top 5 in the women's strawweight division.
She's a contender, but not. I don't see her getting that belt.
I don't either, and especially the strawweight champ is Wiley Zhang.
Yeah.
And Wiley Zhang has not had a fight since the Joanna fight in the early stages of 2020. And so that
fucking fight.
The only women's champion we've seen fight over the last 9 months is Valentina Shevchenko at UFC 255.
Yeah.
And Shevchenko put on a dominant performance again.
Totally dominant, and we saw some of her weaknesses in that fight.
Right, we did. We saw a grappler take her down, and then we saw her get mad and take the grappler down. So that was a crazy fight. It was great. But the point I'm making is the women's divisions are getting stronger.
Yeah, they are.
They're definitely getting stronger. And I understand that the 3 fighters at the top of those divisions are the best fighters.
Yeah, they're the dogs.
But we're starting to see some great competition. We're starting to weed out the best fighters to go against these champs, which is what they need. They need the best competition because they've almost run out of competition at this point.
Maybe I'm rude for saying this. It's honestly getting more interesting to watch these women's fights. Before I
totally agree.
They're not going to be able to knock the other out. They never go for submissions. It always just goes to decision. It's going to be a boring jab fest.
Right.
The last 3 that I've watched have just been brawls, and I'm okay, I'm invested now.
I totally agree with you, and I understand the point you're trying to make about it might be, sexism, bias, whatever you want to say. But the fact of the matter is the women's fights normally do go to a decision.
Yeah.
And they normally are not advertised well.
That too, yeah.
And they're normally in the undercard. And over the last 6 weeks, we've seen this
main cards.
We've seen amazing fights, and we've seen them in the co-main events, and we've seen them outshine men fighters by a lot.
Oh yeah. Usually top 2 when they're the co-main.
Right, and I agree with you. I think that these women's divisions are really starting to put themselves on the map. All right, top 2 fights here. Which one do you want to talk about first? You want to talk about the one that hurts? You want to talk about the one that's awesome?
We'll save the one that's awesome for the end.
Okay.
I know 256, but the one that hurt everybody. So Tony
Ferguson got his ass beat.
Not beat, very much dominated on the ground.
Right, yeah, no, he didn't get punched a lot.
No, he didn't.
But he got out-wrestled.
Totally out-wrestled, out-jiu-jitsu'd.
Charles Oliveira looked so dominant, he looked so composed, and he looked so focused.
He's a scary contender for that belt. I'm telling you. Because no matter who he goes up against, I still think Tony Ferguson could have gotten that belt next.
I agree with you. And for anybody watching who has only seen Tony's last 2 fights, because I know he's only had 2 fights in the last year and a half.
Yeah. And
there were 2 fights that he's lost by a lot.
Badly.
Yeah. And you have to know that, yes, he's gotten a bit older, and yes, he did not have great performances. But you're talking about Justin Gaethje, the number 1 contender for the vacant lightweight title, and Charles Oliveira, who is now the number 3 ranked contender for the title, and who has not lost in 8 fights.
And somebody who was honestly being kept away from that top 5.
Right. It was someone that Dana saw. He doesn't speak English. He doesn't have the ability to hype up his fights crazy.
It's hard to advertise. He's kind of boring to watch sometimes.
Right, exactly.
But for the sport.
For the division. For the division that demands the best fighters in the top 5 and that are the top 5 right now.
He's a very promising fighter.
He's super promising.
But also, Tony Ferguson, before he went 0-2, 7 years undefeated. 7 years.
Man won the Ultimate Fighter and did not look back until Justin Gaethje.
No, really he didn't.
This is the man that most UFC fans were upset he did not get a chance to fight Khabib. This is who everyone wanted Khabib to fight.
Yeah, to be honest, though.
I'm glad he didn't fight Khabib.
Yeah, because with Charles Oliveira, Khabib could have done the same shit. Maybe worse. Maybe not worse.
I think Khabib would have done the same shit, but he would have finished it.
You see, with punches, I think, yeah.
I don't know about punches. We saw in the Gaethje fight, he got him to the ground, went for the submission right away. And I know Tony's a better jiu-jitsu artist than Gaethje, for sure. But I think that, if Oliveira can do that, I think that Nurmagomedov can do that plus a little something.
I think he could finish him, or just got him in a position where he was holding the arm and just able to drop hammers or something.
I agree with you.
Maybe, who knows? Maybe Tony, he wouldn't go the distance, I don't think.
Can we talk about one other thing about this fight, though?
Yeah.
Right after the fight, when the final bell rang, Charles Oliveira kind of being a dick.
Oh, yeah, he paraded him around. That would have made me angry.
Ferguson was trying to get off of him, and Oliveira would not let him leave, and he put his arm over his shoulder, and he was like rubbing his head. All this shit.
I'm happy you saw that too, because I get it. The guy was really excited, but you got to understand.
Yeah.
You're the most excited you've ever been in your life.
Have respect for the man that you just beat.
Yeah, he's the least excited he's ever been in his life. Like, if you walk up, you hold his hand up because it's a close fight and you won in the position.
That's one thing.
But when you're just walking somebody around the ring like they're a show, and especially when they try to make break, I don't give a fuck if that's your personality. Leave him be, man.
And not only that, and we can talk about the other side of that too. We can talk how Tony's a class act.
Yeah,
Tony's definitely a class act.
He didn't get angry with him, which I'm surprised about.
You could see a little frustration build, but he didn't show it at all. And then also, I don't know if you caught this, but when the referee was holding their arms, you know how they do the winner by decision for 3 rounds. Oliveira stepped away, so they had to wait. So the ref was just holding Ferguson, so Oliveira could get a shirt on.
Yeah, it's for advertising purposes.
Yeah, but you're just making him wait. You're just making him simmer there. Come on, man.
Come on, man.
And then after, because when you guys left, I watched a little bit of the post-fight show. And obviously he doesn't speak English, so there's a translator. But if the translator was translating correctly, which we have to assume he was, because UFC puts on the right personnel, Oliveira was like, I just dominated Tony. That wasn't even a great fight for me. I deserved the belt. I absolutely killed the man that everybody thought was going to beat Khabib. I don't understand why everybody thought that.
So that's probably the proper translation.
Right.
But the feeling sometimes with Spanish is it's more intense.
I agree with you.
So I'm not holding that against him, because everything you said was kind of true.
It absolutely was. So, and I mean, we've seen fighters like that. We've seen the Connors that say it how it is and maybe embellish a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
But this was more of a clean, concise, I beat you, and I'm not afraid to say it.
No doubt about it. If it wasn't for the bell, Tony's arm would be broken.
Yeah. For those of you who didn't get to see the fight, go watch the replay of the end of the first round when Tony Ferguson's arm at least got hyperextended. At the very least,
his elbow.
His tendons were ripping out.
Here's how your elbow is. Tony's elbow it looked like this.
Yeah.
That's not right.
No, it was not at all. And that is one other thing. As soon as the bell rang, Oliveira let it go.
Yeah, he did. Good credit to him.
Great credit to him. And Ferguson came back, and he did not, for the first couple minutes of round 2, he definitely wasn't using that arm. But he got back and using it a little bit.
He ended up throwing punches.
Tony's a tough motherfucker, man. Tony is the cardio king, and he's tough as nails, because he would not have gone 2 rounds with Gaethje if he wasn't tough. The shot that Gaethje played.
Yeah, he would have just decided to wean out.
Right.
He didn't, though. And
so, do you want to get into the lightweight talks now, or do you want to wait until later?
So we just went over Charles Oliveira.
Right.
Now the main card. Let's just skim over that real quick.
What, the main event?
The main event.
Okay. So, potential fight of the year.
I think so. Best fight I've ever seen.
Ended in a draw, rightfully so, although I had it for Moreno. I really thought Moreno should have won.
You did?
So, let's put it really quickly and as best as I can. Round 1 was Figueiredo. Round 2 was questionable. It looked like Moreno. In round 2, Figueiredo had his first eye poke, and it was stopped.
It was a bad eye poke.
For a couple minutes.
It made the eyes swell up.
In round 3, Figueiredo poked him again, but it wasn't called. And then Figueiredo landed the hardest groin kick I've ever seen in the UFC.
Oh, yeah. That was brutal.
Punted him right in the cup. And Moreno fell down on his knees for 2 minutes.
It was just a bad turn, it looked like, for Moreno, but it didn't even look like Figueiredo cared if he kicked the dick. He went soccer kick into that shit.
He belted it. And there was discussions, and I don't know if I've talked to you about this, about the discussions that he shouldn't have gotten a point taken away.
But he should have. It was his 3rd foul. He didn't get a warning.
He did not get a warning, and it was only his 2nd called foul. I know that he had a second eye poke, but it was only a 2nd stoppage.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I mean, a brief stoppage in the middle of the fight.
I think the ref made the right call.
I do too. Because after that point, Figueiredo didn't do anything dirty again.
No.
Which is what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Know what I mean?
Yep.
So I think it was the right call. But if Figueiredo would have lost, I think he would have had a challenge-worthy or he would have had a contention-worthy challenge because of that warning.
What I've been hearing around, the fucking big MMA names talking, Chael Sonnen, one of them. He thinks that Figueiredo won the fight, and without that point loss. Well, actually, without that point loss, he would have won the fight. That's
right.
A fact.
He absolutely would have. He would have won it by unanimous decision.
I was rooting for Moreno. I won't lie. So
I was rooting for Figueiredo, but by the fourth round, I was like, dude, Moreno has a fucking chance.
Oh, yeah. He was manimal the whole time.
And so, if we could talk about this a little bit more, we could just finish off the fight.
Yeah, of course.
Moreno won round 4.
Yeah, he did.
Moreno won round 4. He did a great job. Moreno it was weird. He would land counter punches, and then he would have flurries. And so he never did the same thing twice. He kept Figueiredo on his toes, and Moreno backed down Figueiredo for 4 of the 5 rounds.
Game. They were equal.
They were totally equal.
It was awesome.
Figueiredo got taken down one time, and it was one of the most impressive scrambles I'd ever seen. He just got right back up while putting Moreno in a choke. It was weird.
It kept the fight going. It kept it standing, and it kept him active because these are 2 of the most active dudes I've seen.
Right. They're 2 tough guys. They weigh 125, so they're going to go for 5 rounds. They probably could have gone for 3 more. And Figueiredo won the 5th round. Questionably like the 2nd round, but Figueiredo probably won the 5th round, which ended the fight with 3 judges' decisions. 1 48-47 for Figueiredo and 2 47-47 draws because of that 1-point deduction, which means that Figueiredo on the scorecards won 48-47 for all 3 judges, except he got a point taken away.
Cost him, and you know what? He probably will never foul again.
I agree with you.
After that hard of a fucking battle, and he had to go to the hospital afterwards. I guess he was.
Figueiredo was in the hospital for longer than Moreno was.
Apparently, he was sick before the fight too.
Yeah, I had heard that as well. Yeah,
vomiting and shit, underweight. Not good.
No, definitely not good. Very, it's always tough to hear that. We've heard a couple people say that, and you never like to hear excuses from fighters, but when you do come out, you have to feel some sympathy for them and some admiration for them going through the fight and not saying anything about it.
Yeah.
Say the same thing about Khabib, who broke his toe a week before the fight.
Yeah, what a badass. Didn't say
what a badass. Didn't give a shit. After. Didn't say anything about it.
Yeah.
And so
remember John Jones' broken toe?
Yeah. Ooh, that was so bad. Was that Chael Sonnen?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Oh, that was nasty.
Yeah, John Jones didn't even realize until Joe Rogan pointed it out.
He's like, you got a broken toe. He's
Yeah.
like, oh, no.
Yeah, he's like, oh, Jesus. And he sat down on the stool. And so the rematch for the flyweight title between Deiveson Figueiredo and Brandon Moreno will be on for 2021.
That's going to be awesome, guys.
Moreno says that he needs a little bit of time to recover, which he fucking deserves it.
Says his shoulder was hurt. And it looked like his forearm was broken, but...
Right, that's right. You guys were saying that. You guys had thought he was...
There was a lump right here, Zach. I'm not sure if you ever got a good look at it, but it was like this big. Mm-hmm. Like, quite literally a lump.
And so Brandon Moreno is a tough motherfucker, and they both deserve to take some time off. Deiveson Figueiredo, the only man in history to headline 2 UFC pay-per-views in a row.
Oh, yeah.
So he got paid. So he's going to take some time off. He's going to go back to Brazil. Both of them have nothing but respect for the efforts they put out and just the fighters that they are. So commend both of them. Can't wait to see them in 2021.
Oh, yeah.
And that's it for 256. You got anything else?
No, I'm all set, Zach. That was a great card.
Yeah, that was a phenomenal card. Make sure you guys tune in to all the pay-per-views. We do live reactions. We have a good time. We drink beer. We answer all your questions. Definitely come check out UFC 257 for the Conor fight. I think I'm going to take a break real quick. So you're watching MMA Complete. Zach Draper, Mark Tosi, Austin Garvey. It's being brought to you by SFBNRI. Check out all the SFBNRI platforms. Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Periscope. All the shit like that. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back. Thank everybody for tuning in. And boom, we're back. By the way, you're not totally in the frame.
Nope, half of us.
We got Austin back over here. We're going to be talking about the fight night coming up in 2 days. So that's going to be happening December 19th. That's headlined by Stephen Wonderboy Thompson and Jeff Neal.
That's gonna be cool.
Welterweight bout.
Yeah.
Finally
Jeff
seeing.
Neal.
Finally seeing.
I got Jeff Neal.
Yeah.
I thought, didn't he just get suspended?
No, it wasn't him. It
Who?
was
Oh,
someone
Nico
else.
Price.
Yeah, Nico Price.
I'm in another planet.
So both of these guys are just about the same,
For real.
identical tail of the tapes, same height. I'm pretty sure Jeff Neal has a half-inch reach advantage. Jeff Neal's 30, Wonderboy Thompson's 37.
Wonderboy Thompson's about to get his ass whooped. He's done.
Possibly, but
I think he's definitely past his prime.
he's definitely past his
Whooped.
prime.
I looked up
And
some
Jeff Neal
videos
is
of
on
him.
his prime.
I looked up some videos of him, and it's not what it used to be. It's serious. It's
I couldn't even tell you the last time he
He's
fought.
got his own gym now, and I know that he does YouTube. He's
Yeah.
got a pretty substantial
Isn't he
YouTube following.
Crossbreed?
Of what?
Doesn't he own Crossbreed MMA?
He might.
The gym?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. That totally could be wrong. I know he trained there.
Best
at least.
karate striker I've ever seen.
Leo
Leo
Machida.
Machida, yeah.
But yeah, I think you're probably right on the money. I think he's one of the
That's
best
the world
karate
fight.
strikers ever.
His father is insane. I
Is he?
remember watching. His father was his coach in the full contact karate,
Mm.
and this man literally was yelling at him so hard. The ref literally called time, and he's like, "You yell at me again, you're getting disqualified."
that's funny.
That's funny.
It's always great.
Yo, you see what I tweeted today? I tweeted that. That's the Kamaev
Yeah.
Joe Me short. I will
I don't-
never bet
Do you
against
think
that guy
that's
again.
knockout of the year?
Nope. No, it's not knockout of the year. It's nominated. Should
Okay.
it be nominated?
Joaquin
Because we all know who's the
Buckley.
knockout.
We were gonna
of the
be.
year.
We were gonna be. Well, before we say anything, me and Mark were saying we should do superlatives next week.
Oh yeah,
Of the
Yeah.
year. We should do fight of the year. We should do fighter of the year,
The
knockout of the year, all
yeah.
that shit.
Yeah. Well, Joaquin Buckley. That's an easy one.
Right. So we're not gonna get into that. Stay
Fight of the year
come.
just happened.
I
See,
think so.
I'm gonna do a little bit more
Well,
research.
fight of the year
We'll
just
save it.
happened.
We'll
Yeah,
save
we'll
it.
save it for next year.
Because dude,
Save
that's
it for next
good.
week.
That's a long talking point.
Yeah, I know.
So
I know, but I'm just saying that right now.
So also
I
on
think
the
so.
card, I think Jeff Neal's probably gonna beat Wonderboy.
I think so.
I think it's gonna be a 5-round decision. I think that it's going to be a slow fight,
Hang on.
unfortunately.
sponsor.
no free sponsor.
Yeah, no free sponsors.
Clydesdales, please.
So
Send us money.
also on the fight, this fight card has like 5 huge fights. We got Jose Aldo
So-
versus Cheeto Vera.
This might be fight card of the year, honestly.
This
it
is
was a good fight.
this is if there was a title fight, this would be a pay-per-view, and it would be a great pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
Cheeto Vera versus Jose Aldo.
Amanda Nunes should be on this.
Go.
Huh?
Jose Aldo versus Cheeto Vera.
Cheeto Vera.
I already said Jose Aldo.
I got Jose Aldo. too.
Cheeto Vera.
I think Cheeto Vera's riding a high from beating Sean O'Malley, and I think he's going to get woken up against Jose Aldo. I think that as far as Cheeto Vera picking who he wants to fight in top 5, this is the best fighter he could have picked. Jose Aldo's past his prime. He's lost his last 2.
This
What?
is what Dana White does. This is why I would. Oh, man, it's a tough one.
Right.
I wouldn't be
so.
surprised if Jose Aldo won. Like I would be all right. He won.
Right. I wouldn't be surprised if Cheeto Vera won.
Same,
But
it's one of those kind of.
It's one of those fights. It's like
I
You
think
don't
that
know.
Jose Aldo. See, he's older. Jose is like 36 now.
Yeah, he is.
Cheeto Vera's like 29.
And what are they fighting at?
Bantamweight.
Bantamweight. Yeah.
Bantamweight. Which Jose Aldo's looked decent at bantamweight. He's looked
Yeah.
pretty good.
A little old.
Little old,
for
yeah.
Bantamweight, but
If Jose Aldo wins, it's gonna be a decision. If Jose Aldo wins,
I don't know. He's got that weird uppercut.
bro.
Yeah,
this
yeah, but
fight's
I don't
so
think he has
close,
the
man.
power to beat Cheeto Vera anymore. Cheeto Vera's quick.
Yeah,
Cheeto Vera's
so
very
close.
quick.
Yeah. Yeah, they.
I think this fight's
Father
gonna be
Time's getting to him,
standing
I think.
the whole time. I think it's gonna be straight up boxing and
Yeah.
kickboxing for 3 rounds, which I'm very excited for.
Mhm.
I also think the winner of this immediately gets put into like top 7 fights because Jose Aldo's already there, but he needs a win to stay on track. You know what I mean? So like you have bantamweight fighters that are looking for fights, like Cody Garbrandt, like TJ Dillashaw.
Cody,
well,
Cody Garbrandt. That's like
Yeah. Both of those names.
Well, Cody
a little-
Garbrandt's off the top. Yeah, I think he's
No,
fourth in
no.
bantamweight.
just like his situation. You know?
Yeah, of course.
But like, yeah,
He tweeted a couple days ago that he's getting better and he wants to get a fight in the first quarter of 2021.
I would bet against. I honestly would pick the other guy just because of what he's been going through.
Let's see.
He's
He had
definitely
COVID. He had COVID
physically
badly.
definitely
Oh, yeah,
not in
Cody
shape.
Garbrandt. Yeah.
If I was him, I'd take a year off.
I'd definitely take at least 6 months
Yeah. Well, he's been off for 3.
because that's a lot of time.
You gotta.
If we're talking knockouts of the year, by the way, Cody Nolov's on that shit. You remember his last second fucking rocking a guy?
Yeah. What
and he
about-
knocked him out in the last second of round 2? Rafael Sunsao?
What's the
I didn't
fight
see
with
that
Korean Zombie?
Brian
The-
Ortega?
Brian Ortega
No,
didn't
no,
knock
he
him
didn't.
out.
No. Oh, that was maybe a long time ago. Or was it this
Yeah,
year?
no, I think I know what you're talking about, where he just goes flat on the ground and he's like this.
Yeah, he gets him with the back.
Yeah, that was
elbow.
like 2-3 years
Okay,
ago.
all right.
That
I'm just making
fucking
sure.
was
I'm making sure.
insane.
That was insane.
Last
Totally.
second,
It
third
looked like
round.
he practiced it. It
He
was
got
so
like an
good.
elbow
Like,
uppercut.
Who practices that
I know.
shit?
That's like, yeah, I'm just gonna go and just.
Well, they were both
hit
the
you with
last
a
couple
backwards
seconds of the
elbow.
round. They were like
No.
this, and then they just started fucking swinging.
That's the best.
That was a couple years ago, though.
Yeah, that's sick.
Do you remember what I'm talking about? Cody Garbrandt getting the fucking he like swayed the punch and then rocked him with a right hook at 4 minutes 59 seconds, and he hit the ground at when the bell rang, knocked out completely, out cold.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that on
That's
Facebook, I think.
Right. No, it's not funny.
That
but
was
it's-
that's a knockout of
fucking
the year
wild.
candidate.
Yeah.
That has to be a knockout.
That's
of the
just
year
gonna
candidate.
hurt your ego the next day.
Oh man,
I was so close to winning.
He's like, "What do you mean? We're going in round 3, right?" No. Oh, okay. What happened?
George Washington,
Yeah.
second president.
You think Khabib fight could be fight of the year?
No. It didn't
All right,
last too
well,
long.
we're getting off track.
All right.
Sorry.
So let's talk about. We could talk about that in the third installment of this episode.
Yeah.
So we also
Go to
got
midnight. No.
Marlon Moraes versus Rob Font. Marlon Moraes has been a bantamweight challenger for the title for a long time. This dude, ever since he came into the UFC in like 2015, has been in the top 5 of that division.
Yeah.
He's fighting Rob Font. Rob Font is like 26 years old, 17-4, and has won, I think, his last 5. He's a definite up-and-comer, but I think Marlon Moraes he's still like 31, 32. I think he's still has a lot more to give. Moraes just lost to Corey Sandhagen a couple months ago, but before that, beat Jose Aldo.
Yeah.
So he's still all about the top fights. Rob Font would make a huge name if he were to beat Marlon Moraes, but I think Moraes has this.
Yeah. And when I was sitting in my truck, I was going through Twitter. Kevin Holland called out what the
Kamaev? Yeah.
No, he called out a bunch of people.
You did? Oh my
Yeah,
god, this
but he was
guy's
making
crazy.
Brunson?
Yeah, called
That
out
was
Brunson,
aggressive,
and Brunson said, "Where's the contract? He wants to sign it."
I think that
Dana,
That's
give this
smart.
kid the 6th fight.
I
Yeah.
think
Give him the
there's
record.
no way he fights before 2020.
Give him the record, Dana.
No
Come on.
way.
It would be
He
man.
deserves
awesome.
it.
He
He would be
does.
the guy. He would be the guy.
He really
He
does.
didn't even really get punched in the last fight.
Right.
Not at
He
all.
knocked him out on his fucking ass, man. He was like laying back, just ow.
It was
The guy was like, "Whoa!"
We were
like,
talking about
that was the reaction.
And then he did it again, and the guy was like, "I'm done."
I would like to see Kevin Holland versus
Shut up,
Jack
he was like-
Hermanson.
Yeah.
I'd like to see Holland versus Hermanson.
That'd be a good test.
It would be a great test. I don't know if Holland's ready for it. And I think that right now Holland is looking for another fight that he knows he can win, which is Derek Brunson.
I mean, he called out Kamaev.
Yeah, I think Holland can beat Kamaev too.
Kevin,
I've said this. I'm not convinced that Kamaev's a top 5 fighter yet.
I think Kevin Holland might be just
you
big
said
enough to outstrike
you
him.
tweeted hashtag Team Kamaev.
Over
Hey,
who?
hey,
Did
only
I?
You tweeted that.
the bandwagon only
I
rolls
still
when
don't
he's
think
winning
he's a
the
top
fight.
5.
All right,
I think he. Yeah.
I
What'd
think
you say?
he.
the bandwagon only rolls when he's winning the fight.
Yeah.
I think
The guy
that
fucking dude.
Holland versus
300 bucks in 17 seconds.
I think Kamaev versus Kevin Holland would be a great.
I think it would.
That would be a tremendous fight because I don't think Kamaev deserves a number 3 fighter,
No.
and I don't think that Holland is ready for a top 3 fighter.
Not yet. He still needs more
He's-
tests. You know?
He needs more tests, and if anything, it's just not going to hurt him. You know,
Yeah.
like it's Derek Brunson.
Everyone's gonna get that beat, bro.
We were
By
talking.
Kevin Holland.
We said this.
Is it Derek Brunson? No, it might not be Brunson.
Do you remember the
Yeah,
Derek
I'm gonna find
Brunson
it.
Edmund Shabazian fight?
It might not be Derek Brunson. Hang on.
Okay.
It might be.
We're gonna keep
We
going
were
through the
just
fight
talking
card.
about that. Like Brunson,
I should have liked.
pretty good.
I
on
should
the
have
ground.
liked it. I should have liked the tweet. Now I'm mad.
But I don't think Kevin Holland fights like
What
that
if it-
Shabazian guy you're talking about.
Yeah, they have similar styles. They like to stand up. They have good reaches.
And that is what right?
Yeah.
I'll have to watch some videos.
I think. I think that Kevin Holland is next up in the middleweight division. And I think
Yeah,
people
but
think,
are you hyped about him?
but I think
I am
that,
now.
I don't
after
think that
shit.
matters.
That was cool.
I don't think that matters.
No.
I think that. What do you? All right, in the classic MMA debate between skill and substance, you have Conor McGregor, who has skill and substance, and by substance I mean hype ability.
Oh yeah,
he's a great striker and he's the best hype man ever. And then you have someone like Kamaev, who is hyped to the fucking gills, but we don't know how great his skills are. And then we have Kevin Holland, who's obviously skilled, but has not had a lot of hype.
It is.
So
he hasn't. I've seen before this last fight. I've seen more hype for Joaquin Buckley.
I agree with you,
Kevin Holland.
I agree with you, and Kevin Holland just beat Joaquin Buckley.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And I get it's recency bias. Joaquin Buckley had a fantastic knockout, and that's going to sell tickets. But Kevin Holland is the real fucking deal, and I don't see him losing to anyone not in the top 5.
Yeah. I'm still not excited to see him fight. I would be excited to see him fight for the record.
Oh yeah, for 6 in a year.
But
You're not excited to see him fight now?
No,
if he does
I'm not excited to see him fight Derek Brunson though. No, because I know he's going to beat his ass.
What percentage chance you giving Brunson in that fight?
40.
I'm thinking 40.
30. 35.
Yeah. Okay. That's a safe range, though.
I thought you were going to say like 20.
No.
Brunson
30,
has the experience
35.
factor. Brunson's way stronger than Kevin Holland, but Kevin Holland has that huge reach advantage.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I mean. No,
Yeah.
that's what I'm getting at. It's like he's a John Jones middleweight.
Yeah, that's what I was. Yeah,
She was literally comparing him earlier before you walked up to John Jones.
Oh, yeah. No, I think we talked
totally has the
about
same
that.
build.
It's the
Totally
same
As
build,
long as
except for
fuck,
middleweight.
tall as fuck.
Right.
Tall as fuck.
The
bigger reach
wrestling
than
probably
everybody.
still isn't comparable.
Come on.
Not yet.
Pterodactyl arms. That's what
Do you
he
know how
does.
old he is? I wonder if this kid
Kevin
has time to
Holland's
grow.
28.
Okay, so he's still got a couple years to get better
Right. Yeah.
before he starts going. You
But
know,
that middleweight-
they start to decline at
But
it.
that-
How is he going to
middle-
come back after that first loss? Sorry.
Who's that?
Kevin Holland.
Oh, when he does lose? Okay.
Is it by decision or knockout?
It's got to be knockout.
It's going to be decision. I think it would be by decision.
So to answer that
TKO,
question,
TKO, I think.
TKO.
That's what I'm calling.
So to answer that question, you have to answer
He's gonna
who's he
win the
going to
round.
lose to, right? Who's he going to lose to in that middleweight division? We were just going over the rankings. It
Yeah.
goes.
That was a great call out by you, by the way.
It goes.
I didn't even think of that.
Robert Whitaker, Paulo Costa, Jared Cannonier, Marvin Vittori, Jack Hermanson,
Paulo Costa.
Darren
Sick.
Till.
Paulo Costa
He's still an animal.
would be.
I think Paulo Costa would
Sick.
fuck up.
People
Kevin
are
Holland.
just
I think he would
underwriting
fuck
him
him up.
because of that loss to Adesanya.
But
Yeah,
at the
I would
same
not
time,
don't forget that
But at the
motherfucker.
same time,
He's
it's a
huge.
very
Yeah.
similar fight
Dangerous
to what we
guy.
just saw with Kevin Holland. Paulo Costa's reach is very small. Paulo Costa is only 5'9". Paulo Costa's jacked,
5'9".
jacked, which is why he makes middleweight. Dude has a
Holy
72-inch reach advantage, just like Jacare.
Yeah.
Adesanya, just like Kevin Holland, has an
Damn.
81-inch reach advantage, and we saw Adesanya pick apart Paulo Costa.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when you look at Paulo Costa's victories over the likes of Yoel Romero, who has a 74.5-inch reach advantage.
How
Could say
tall is
something about
Joel
him.
Romero?
Could say.
Yoel's like 6 foot.
Can I say
Yes.
something quick about him? Yo, Romero signed in Bellator, and he's probably going to fight Anthony Rumble Johnson.
Yeah, we were talking about that a little bit. I don't
Oh,
know what
okay.
to make of that. No, me and you were talking about
Oh.
Xbox.
I think
I don't know what to make of
Romero.
that.
No, I don't know what to make of
Paulo
that.
Costa's 6 foot.
Is he really?
Yeah,
Okay.
and he's that
All right.
big. That's
So he just has a really small reach for his height.
and just a huge build.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, he's
Like,
the
how
most
do you
yoked guy in the fucking
How do you
MMA.
weigh that much and are in that weight class?
Right, he cuts like 40 pounds the 2 weeks before the fight. That's how.
That's fucking insanity.
That's how.
That's crazy.
He
and I
fights
knew
at 185. He walks around at like 220.
he had a bad cut for Adesanya too. I was going to say
He
that.
did.
Well, he
He
was
had a
sick.
really bad cut.
He was sick, which is why he postponed the fight at like another week.
That's gonna be the worst, man. Just puking and then knowing you're having to go into the ring in the next couple days.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Pass on that.
That's one of the best guys in the world. That's why Adesanya fucks dudes up. Dude.
So let me put
Yeah.
this out to
doesn't
the
have to cut
table.
weight.
Let me put this out to
Yeah,
the
he
table.
doesn't. That's
I've
big
gone,
bonus.
I've gone on record saying I think Kevin Holland versus Khamzat Chimaev would be a great fight. The other fight I want to see is Kevin Holland,
Agree.
and I say this about everybody in the middleweight because
versus Adesanya.
versus Darren Till.
Yeah. I'd like to see that.
Because
That's
Darren
striking.
Till is a hype. He just hypes up fights.
He's a good
But he's a great striker.
And Darren Till would He's not. I don't even know if you're talking about.
He's Michael Bisping's nephew.
Yeah,
That's pretty much what he
He's
is.
even English.
Percentage.
He's even
Yeah.
English.
Percentage. Darren Till winning.
Versus Holland. Well,
I gotta
I
give-
think that's more Darren Till than
Yeah, I
Holland,
gotta give
but
Till the favorite there.
I gotta give Till the favorite too.
But that's like
But I'm rooting for
57 Till, like
It's like
58.
55,
Yeah.
58,
close.
60, pushing it.
Root for
Because
Holland.
that means
Let's go
Holland's
America.
40%. Nah, because you gotta give Holland like
No, I'd give that like 57-43 Till.
Till's a good wrestler, great
Yeah.
boxer.
He is. I think that fight stays on the ground. But Till has a fucking reach on him, too.
You
Till's
take-
like a 79-inch
I think
reach.
you
he
put the
stays in
deed
that.
on, though.
I think that fight stays.
not the
deed on
deed.
it.
No, not the deed. What are you putting like? What are you putting? If the safe,
I think
like,
that-
I think I'm putting Till.
I think
Yeah.
that fight stays standing.
Yeah, I do
it
too.
depends. It depends. If it was like double, I would
I'd
definitely.
bet
or, like,
Kevin Holland. I'm gonna call Kevin Holland actually. for that
I
fight.
would probably put the deed on
If you were
Holland.
Kevin Holland, let me ask you this. You talk about the Brunson, that he wants to fight Brunson. I think that's a good win for Holland. How about Marvin Vettori? Marvin Vettori looked great against Jack Hermanson, and Jack Hermanson's a beast.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, Marvin Vettori doesn't look special. He just looks like he had a great win against Hermanson. And Holland to go against Vettori, he's going to have the reach advantage again.
Jack Hermanson.
Jack Hermanson, see, that's the only fight for Kevin Holland that I wouldn't make if I was him. Because I feel like Jack Hermanson coming off a loss, 6 days notice to Marvin Vettori, is going to dominate whoever he fights next.
Yeah.
I think Jack Hermanson, he is one of the best middleweights in the world, bar none.
Yeah.
And I
Another
think,
one of those guys whose name isn't really broadcasted
Right.
as much as,
and this was supposed to be his big break. This was going to be the fight that really put him on the map, and he fucking lost.
Dustin Poirier too. He as big as he is, because Dustin Poirier is a fucking real deal threat for that belt.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just fought for it a year ago.
Yeah, you don't hear anything about Dustin Poirier because he's advertising wrong.
not,
No, he is. He's advertised wrong. He needs to get his agent proper.
dude. I don't know, man.
'Cause-
He might. What? And he's in a win-win situation right now.
Oh, yeah,
he's
he's making-
fighting
he's
Conor
making
McGregor,
money
and if
either
he
way.
wins or loses, he's still gonna get a good fight.
If
Win or lose, he's still getting a good fight.
So
That's
we were
true,
talking
yeah.
about this.
And he can fight Conor McGregor.
Fuck this card at this point. We were
Yeah.
talking about, or I was saying, that I think now Poirier McGregor fights. I think McGregor wins, and McGregor doesn't want to fight till the summer, right? So you
Yeah.
got like 7,
Probably take a
8
break.
months to get a challenger.
it depends how quickly he wins. If
So-
he wins fast, like let's say catches him with a vicious left hook.
Right, but at the same time, we haven't seen Conor fight twice in 6 months since 2014.
It's possible.
What Poirier brings him to the ground?
Dude,
I think Poirier will
could-
bring him to the ground.
That's
think
what I mean.
Exactly what he's
That's what I mean.
But either way,
Connor's ground
Dude,
game
he's
though.
quick.
Connor's ground game is getting the fuck up.
yeah,
Getting
and
his
he's
back
good at
against
it
Gage
too.
and
He
getting
does.
up. He
It's
is
not like
good.
Conor has poor ground
Almost
game.
got up with Khabib.
He did
He
get up with
almost-
Khabib.
Yeah,
He did
he got to the cage,
once.
and yeah,
but
but it's Khabib. It's
Yeah.
Dustin Poirier is kind
So-
of different.
I think Conor wins, and that happens January, and then say March or April, Gaethje fights Oliveira for the belt. Winner of that fights Conor in the end of the summer. Michael Chandler fights Tony Ferguson.
Gaethje fighting Oliveira. I got that fight going Oliveira.
Oliveira is gonna fuck him up.
Probably.
so,
Probably.
After that showing against Tony Ferguson, I wouldn't see he shouldn't stand with Gaethje at all.
Oliveira's up and coming. I just don't know who this guy is.
Dude, I think Oliveira is the next Khabib. I
No.
really do. No, I really
No.
think he's that dominant on the ground, and I think he will take it to the ground and has no shame in keeping it on the ground.
Yeah, he did take Tony to the ground, dude.
Dude, so
Yeah.
easily. A national wrestling fucking champ.
Black belt.
And a
For
Brazilian
10th
Jiu-Jitsu black
10th
belt.
planet.
10th planet? No, Gee.
no,
That dude.
Oliveira. I don't think Oliveira is 10th planet.
No, Tony Ferguson.
Oh, okay. yeah.
An absolute unit.
Right.
And he
Absolute unit.
he butt fucked him. Let's be honest. He really did. Right on stage in front of everybody.
And like
that was
at
kind of something.
Literally.
I would hate to see that,
That was
honestly.
ruthless.
I would hate to see Oliveira, Gaethje, and it just be on the ground the whole time.
That
I
would
mean,
be-
I know that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's why Dana White was trying to keep him stuffed, and Ferguson was like, I'll give this kid a chance. Took it on short notice.
So, like, if Oliveira beats Gaethje and then beats, like, Conor or some shit, does Khabib come back to fight him?
No, Khabib has his own phone company now. He has his own phone line in Russia
Own promotion.
and his own fight promotion.
Yeah.
Khabib, he said it. He's done. His mother could give him the blessing. Who knows if he'd come back? My guess is that he will never come back because why wouldn't you come? Why wouldn't you come back to beat the greatest of all time?
You're fine.
Why wouldn't you come back when you have the offer to fight and destroy GSP and prove your dominance as to go 30-0?
Because he's never going to get the offer to fight GSP. If that fight would have happened, it would have been scheduled.
Well, no, it's because Khabib won't come back to do it. GSP's been asking for it.
I think both of them don't want to do it.
Now, before, it was up.
It was up because Dana White was promoting it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dana White ain't promoting it
GSP
anymore
went on Joe
now,
Rogan and said that once GSP gets to 40, he's not going to fight again. Because he doesn't want to be a 40-year-old man in the cage. He wants to move on with his life.
But I think he would. I think he would do it for the story. I think he cares that much about his own story.
But at the same time, if Oliveira, who just beat Tony, beats Gaethje for the belt, and then beats McGregor or Poirier,
I think
that's not only is
who
that
out of that group hasn't beat Tony Ferguson.
Not only that, but that would be an 11-fight win streak for Oliveira. Oliveira's 33. Khabib would be 31. I understand that Khabib is not going to come out unless it's a challenge, unless it's $100 million or it's a real competitive challenge.
Probably a fat paycheck.
Right. But if there was a guy to do it, because it doesn't look like it's going to be GSP, it's Oliveira.
I don't think so. I don't think he's a big enough name for Khabib to come back.
I don't think he gives a shit about the name.
Yeah. Well, I really don't see Khabib coming back. Hopefully he does.
All we know is that Khabib would fuck up Tony. Absolutely.
Now we know.
Dismantle him. He doesn't need to fight him. He would fuck him up.
Now we know that, though.
Yeah.
Before we didn't see Tony get dominated like that ever.
I would like to see Tony versus Gaethje 2, where they don't agree to stand up.
Yeah, me too. I think Tony wants
I would like to see that.
I'd like to see 3 years, Oliveira going on a nice win streak, gotten the belt, and then Khabib comes back. Fucks him up.
He probably would. He probably would.
Yeah.
But is that good for the division? A guy to just come in,
I think so.
Fuck him up.
Look what Khabib
and then leave. I know, but Dana White hated GSP for that.
Khabib had
GSP talked about
that hype.
I don't know.
Khabib
I don't
that,
think Dana could ever.
He had that stand up. Khabib had everything though. Khabib wasn't born to watch. To be honest, kill me for saying it. I think Oliveira is going to be born to watch for 3 years of wet blanketing people.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, if he gets a submission, that's cool.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I don't. I'd want to see that for. He's the best fighter.
I agree with you.
But it's not probable.
We can't be hyped off of one fight.
But that's what Khabib's done.
That is Tony fucking Ferguson.
It don't matter because a lot of people said Tony was gonna win, and I was like, no way, dude. Like Tony might be done. Like Tony lost to Justin Gaethje. Stand up. Like what?
Well, Gaethje's a better striker.
Yeah, Gaethje's a better striker. Gaethje's
way better.
Tony's more creative.
Gaethje is the second best striker in that division.
Yeah, Tony's more creative. But Gaethje,
go for the Yamanari.
Obviously, but you could even see it in the Oliveira fight. He did a fucking spinning back elbow that nobody even made a noise about.
Yeah,
he did. No, his elbows are lethal. He's definitely a name in the division still. I just don't think he's a top 5 fighter anymore.
No, he's not.
Probably not.
And which is why he should fight Michael Chandler.
It's only going to get worse, and he should fight Michael Chandler.
He should fuck him up.
I think Chandler fucks up Ferguson.
I think Chandler fucks up Ferguson too.
I got Ferguson.
That honestly, don't take that fight, Tony.
Because then they'll probably have to.
What the fuck fight's he gonna take that? What's he gonna fight? Number 12 guy.
Dude, yeah.
Then why not retire?
Yeah, I think he should.
No, top 10. Top 10. Definitely top 10.
Top 10 of that division is fucking killers, man. I think that there's like maybe 1 or 2 people that would lose to Tony in that division, in the top 10 of that division. Everybody's a killer in that fucking division.
Yeah.
We're gonna take a quick pause. Station identification. You're watching MMA Complete. Zak Austin, Garvey, Mark Tosu. Brought to you by SFBNRI. Check out all of our social media.
I was in a double hammer. That's not real.
Boom, we're back.
All
right.
My
All
bad,
right.
I say that shit.
So, real quick, the fights that we didn't talk about. You got Marcin Tibera versus Greg Hardy coming up this weekend. Greg Hardy, I think, is going to win.
Yeah, I think so.
Greg Hart.
Also have Anthony Pettis fighting. I can't remember his name. Anthony Pettis is getting old. I think he's probably going to lose, or he's going to get a vicious knockout, and Anthony Pettis is just going to be man. All right. So now we're going to get into why we came here tonight.
All right, but I want to say who I think's going to win.
Okay.
Greg Hardy. What was it?
Anthony Pettis.
Skip.
Fuck Anthony Pettis.
All right, Mark, do you want to say
I think
who you
Anthony
think?
Pettis is
Okay.
winning that fight.
Yeah?
I think Greg Hardy's winning that fight.
You got Anthony Pettis? I'm on the fence with Anthony Pettis. Really am, but I'm going on your
Logan
head.
Paul.
Oh, Logan Paul and Floyd Mayweather. Hang on.
KSI.
Logan Paul versus Floyd Mayweather in a boxing exhibition. That is the key to remember here.
Yep.
So, we don't know the complete rules of it, but we do know the rules that just happened with Tyson Jones. In their
8
exhibition.
rounds.
8 rounds, no knockouts, no official decisions.
No knockouts.
Right. I don't think we'll see a knockout in the Floyd-Logan Paul
No.
fight.
Floyd by points. That's what I got.
I think that
Logan Paul's going to touch him maybe 3 times.
I agree.
Maybe.
And I think that he's not going to hit him in the head. I think that he's going to hit him in the body. I don't think Logan
Probably a
touches
shoulder
Floyd's head.
blasting him.
One thing is the reach.
Yep.
Floyd's never, ever
That's
done
that's
that.
a
How
big
and he
hit.
can't. Well, he's fastest ever. His number one move is just out. Now, just straight right.
You saw,
out.
you saw how he fought Pacquiao.
Yeah.
Jab, hug.
If Logan Paul
jab,
just
hug.
Logan Paul just needs to rush him.
And
Just fucking go right at him,
Dude,
dude.
don't
Because he's so
treat-
old, he's not gonna knock you out.
I'm glad you said that, Mark,
might.
because I think the clinch is going to be the biggest part of this fight. I don't think Logan's going to be ready for the clinch at all. And I think as soon as they separate,
It's very true.
Floyd's going to get in. Logan might go for a body shot, and Floyd's going to punch him right in the fucking mouth.
He might actually. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
he's
think
not gonna
that's
be ready.
I think that every
So true.
single time Floyd hits Logan in the head or the body, he's going to clinch him right away. Right away.
I don't
Because for
Floyd
the
don't give a
clinch,
fuck, dude.
the clinch helps people with the shorter reach. Because when they separate him, the guy with the longer reach goes for the long straight right away, and the guy short has the ability to duck or to get closer and land with
Uppercut.
that shot.
Fucking yeah.
Well,
And not only
Logan Paul needs to let the fight come to him, then,
he does, but
but he also needs to go at him. That's what it's so like.
I think Logan Paul, like you said,
I
should just
think-
rush him.
I think Logan Paul needs to look at the Conor and Floyd fight and realize
You
that
chase him.
Logan needs to save himself for the last half of the rounds, because that is what Floyd's going to do. Floyd is not going to. I mean, Floyd is an unbelievable cardio machine anyway.
Yeah.
You know, if it goes 15 rounds, Floyd is going to be 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, just like he was 1 through 4.
Yeah.
But that's because he doesn't expend himself.
Yeah.
It makes the other person tire themselves out. It makes him throw more shots. And then he hits him with a body shot to tire him out.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, the ribs does a lot
So-
of damage.
Logan needs to take it slow. He needs to counter punch, because if you got long reach, you can counter punch like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
If
But he's
Floyd-
got
I'm
experience,
gonna,
dude.
Zach, I'm gonna stop you. I'm gonna pause you for a second.
Okay.
How do you counter punch Floyd fucking Mayweather?
You have to dodge his punches first.
As Logan Paul.
I understand. I realize that it's a Herculean task,
Yeah, that is.
but
It's a reach.
beating Floyd in the first place is a Herculean
Oh,
task.
well,
you know what I mean? So
but-
you're going to need to do you're going to have to have a perfect game plan.
I think his
Do I
game.
think Logan can do it? No.
No.
But I'm just trying. I mean, we're
speculating.
sports
Yeah,
analysts
we're
here, you know?
speculating.
We're just,
Yeah.
like, if Logan has a chance, this is what he has to do.
I'm not calling you
He's
out at
got a
all. I'm
chance.
just.
I agree
like,
with you,
he needs-
though. I
This guy's
agree with you, though.
prowess is in his head movement. He could literally.
Whenever-
All it takes is him to see your eye move a little. So,
Right.
count.
And the one thing Floyd does in all his fights, he doesn't watch film.
That's fine.
Which I know it's not big, but like you're talking about, this guy's going up against the best guys in the world for years, and this guy doesn't need to watch
He's
film.
a third
And here he
generation
is.
boxer.
He's
Yeah.
going up against a guy that went 0-2 to a fucking YouTuber. You know what I mean? Like, it's fucking crazy.
I completely agree with you.
It's crazy.
And I think that watching film would only hurt Floyd, especially for this fight, because I think that
It's just a guy. Like,
right. And not
Yeah.
only that, but he hasn't fought in a year. He's been training for a year, so he's gotten a little better. He's put some more shit in his arsenal. And so, right, no, Floyd,
Not for this fight.
Floyd can get off the couch the night of the fight and beat Logan.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
After a bag of
There's
Cheetos.
so much experience, dude.
I watched
20 years plus.
I watched
Not
the
losing.
JRE podcast like 2 weeks ago where Joe Rogan was talking to this guy who brought up the Logan Paul fight,
Yeah.
and the guy said, "You know, you're gonna call me crazy, but with the reach, with the youth,
And
Yeah, Joe.
Logan
Paul.
He busted out
he
laughing.
just laughed
I watched
in
that
this
too.
man's face.
Yeah.
Literally just
Talking about the greatest.
didn't even let him finish.
No,
Greatest
it's
of all time.
just stupid. It's
Yeah.
that's insane.
I
put money on him.
I don't think that Floyd's the greatest of all time.
I don't.
I think he's top 3.
Yeah, he's probably up there.
He's
Right.
50-0.
I would say Joe Louis and Muhammad Ali are up there.
Or
Don't get the hype factor.
Connor?
Sonny Liston. Way back
Okay.
in the day.
All right.
We're
I
going.
mean, you know,
you guys.
Muhammad
I
Ali
don't know.
beat Sonny Liston.
Yeah, but
It's different
50
though.
and 0.
Like boxing is one of those sports. Like boxing's different than MMA. You can
It's the one.
maybe it is, maybe it isn't, because you can dispute who's the best of all time, Khabib or John Jones, being the fact that they're 50 pounds different.
Yeah.
When you talk boxing, it's completely different. Muhammad Ali or Pernell Whitaker, you know, Joe Louis or Floyd Mayweather. It's almost 2 different sports.
yeah, because there's so totally different weight classes.
Heavyweight boxing
You can't compare it
I was
to
Totally
lightweight.
different than lightweight.
That's what I was just gonna say. That's the one thing I'd give all the people that you just said, Muhammad Ali, Joe Louis, heavyweight.
Right.
Heavyweight.
And I mean,
It's-
heavyweight boxing has been the fucking, like, that's the main event. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can I get one of those, Mark?
Yeah. Well, Tyson Fury.
Tyson Fury,
That is
Deontay
gonna
Wilder,
be. That fight,
Evander Holyfield, Mike Tyson.
that fight needs to happen again.
I think
That Tyson
dude,
Fury
I'm
fight.
way more interested in seeing Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua.
Joshua.
Wilder,
Yeah. No, I am too.
I would have been interesting, but that second fight, Wilder got fucking wrecked.
Dude.
Not only that,
Fury
but
is going to
ever
fucking
since
win
then-
that division.
ever since then, or
I hope his mindset's right.
Deontay Wilder has done nothing but bitch and complain
And make excuses.
for
Yeah,
that fight.
exactly.
Fired his whole team.
Fired his whole team because he wore a fucking 40-pound chain metal headgear to the
Yeah,
ring, and
what
he
an
said it hurt
idiot.
his legs. What a fucking idiot!
For the second fight, he said somebody drugged him.
Yeah, he said his coach drugged his water.
No, yeah. He said that his ear was bleeding because he got drugged. No, it was because he got punched
hit in the back of the head.
by a heavyweight.
It's so
in the
funny
ear.
because the only excuse that he could make, he hasn't made. Because
Yeah.
Tyson Fury hit him in the back of the head. Like, it wasn't in the side. It was in the back of the
He
head.
should have said Tyson sent somebody last night
Fucked him up, man.
to smash on his window all night, and that's the reason he lost. Something stupid.
Too long in Buffalo Wild Wings. That bar stool hurt my ass for like 2 days, bro.
Yeah.
Really?
Austin doesn't like going to Buffalo
No.
for that long.
No,
that's
not for
that's a bit
not
too
for
long for a stool.
not for 7 hours, man.
MMA is different because we know
7 hours.
I swear to God, bro.
A football game is Buffalo Wild Wings. That's okay. That's acceptable.
Was
See,
it?
I
7?
go. I
Or
like
was it
to. I
5?
used to like to go for MMA. I thought MMA fights were awesome there.
Main card, yeah.
Right, main card.
Not
Yeah, because we
Zinchenko.
went at like 8 because we thought the bar would be filled. We got there at 8 and there was no one there.
Who was that guy
Guess
that
who?
we went and bet on the boxing fight right after a UFC fight that went bad?
Lomachenko,
Oh,
Lomachenko
fuck that guy.
Vasile.
could have won that
Okay.
fight.
Oh, versus Perez.
Yeah,
You
No,
bought
that-
on Lomachenko.
Yeah.
we bet on it.
Oh, that's
Zach,
rough.
Zach,
I know.
Zach, you want to hear this?
Plus,
We
I
bet on
can't
a
say plus 330. Said it.
we bet
Said
on a
it.
draw.
Oh.
You remember how close that was?
Yeah,
Should have been a draw.
it could've
Should have been a draw,
been a
bro. Should have been a draw. A lot of people said it was going to be a draw. It was like,
Dude, Ryan Perez is a
crazy.
motherfucker. He's up
He's
and
a
coming
beast.
too. He's like really up and coming. He's I
Lomachenko.
think 13-0, 14-0.
I
Or
think
no, he might be 24.
I think Lomachenko, they were active in the first 3 rounds. He would have won
Yeah.
that fight.
I would have chose.
definitely.
I would have chose draw for the Tyson Jones fight. I swear to God, I would have chose that draw.
I don't think you can bet on it. Well, obviously, everybody
couldn't.
would have chose draw because there was no winners that were going to be announced.
So you probably can't bet on that unless you're in Vegas.
So that's the big thing coming with the Floyd
People are
Logan
dumb,
fight.
dude. They'll bet on Tyson just because Tyson.
We can talk about this fight as much as we want, but until we know the rules of it, I'm not going to get excited for it because it could end up being the exact same thing. These guys could dance around for 8 rounds and barely touch each other. Both of them
Still get
smiling at
paid.
each other
Yeah,
because both of them
smirking,
are in it to get paid.
hit each other, hit
Right.
themselves.
Yeah. Floyd knows he's not going to lose, so it's not like he's going to fucking go out there and try. to,
You can't. He can't think like that, though.
What?
He cannot think like that. No, seriously, that's when you get in trouble. Like,
Nah.
as soon as you said that, I was like, "Oof."
So you,
Can I say this,
I
by the
think
way?
that, but he's
Don't
been,
ever think that. You can't. Look at Tyson, dude.
he's been in that many years of fighting now. And
No, I know.
He's coming fresh, not fresh, but he's coming off of like his career. Like this is his wind down from fighting.
I
Look at
think
Tyson,
that
bro.
after this fight, Logan Paul transfers over to MMA.
I hope Logan
40
Paul gets knocked out.
40 to 1.
I'm hoping, and then I hope he does transfer to MMA. I hope he does decent and then gets knocked out in MMA.
I would love to see Logan Paul fight in the MMA.
Logan Paul is a former NCAA Division I collegiate wrestler.
Yeah, so
I love to see him
he
play
could
good.
make it pretty decent depending
Could.
on how his striking is.
But
He
you
would,
need
though.
to start training jiu-jitsu 3 months ago for at least 2 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah, now,
You
like
would need
now.
to, right?
Yeah, he can't just because of his weight. and
Dude's
his
27. You know what I mean? It's not
Yeah,
like
he's
he's
gonna
fucking
He could
21.
make it by the
No,
time
he's
he's
gonna
like
get fucked up.
33.
He could, but by the time he's 33, he's gonna be married with kids, and he's gonna be a fucking like
He's-
100 millionaire.
Yeah,
and he's not gonna want to go to
probably
MMA.
already is like 50 millionaire.
Since we're on,
Oh, 100%.
since we're on the topic
Crazy.
of Logan Paul, his ex-girlfriend. This just happened. His ex-girlfriend's dad, Jose Canseco. You know who that is?
Yeah, no.
No.
56-year-old MLB player.
Yeah, he's
Really
pitched for the
good.
mid-
56
mid-mess.
years
His
old.
girlfriend- His daughter's hot as fuck.
Yeah. Bad breakup. Wants to fight Logan Paul. Calls
Jose
him out.
Canseco wants to fight him.
Wants to fight him.
Yeah, no.
Why
that
not
would
just
never happen.
meet him at his house and just
Yeah.
fight him?
Because he wants to get paid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
wants to
I
get
mean,
paid.
it's true.
Yeah, that's funny. That would never happen though. Maybe Logan Paul start dating Lana Rhodes.
Who knows?
Who knows?
If
Lana
like I
Rhodes?
said, if Logan
I
Paul wins this fight, I'm just logging out of the simulation.
Yeah,
There's no way it happens.
you can. Let me ask you guys this: we talk about how we can't talk about betting, but we're going to talk about hypothetical betting right now.
hypothetically.
What the fuck is Floyd Mayweather's odds going into this fight?
Plus 90.
No,
Minus
Minus 55.
Minus
Yeah,
800? 5,500?
That's what it was.
Are you serious?
minus 55.
Yeah, okay.
It was minus 5,500 plus
Holy shit.
1,500.
So what's
Plus
most?
1,500 ain't bad, bro.
That ain't bad.
That's 15 to 1.
Just
Like,
bet $10.
$100. 1,500. I literally.
Minus
put a-
55 and plus 15?
Yeah,
Wow, that's a big spread.
I know.
Or, not spread, but
Well, that's
a
what it
big-
opened at. I don't know what it's at now.
Ugh.
I saw that on Twitter because I was very
That's
curious
fucking
about that.
hilarious.
I would think that they would put a lot more odds on Logan. I thought that it would be like plus 3,000. Vegas wants everybody to bet on Logan Paul. Unless they
I would.
really. Unless
Why
they,
would I bet on Floyd, dude? I'd have to bet like $1 bajillion. If I was Floyd, I'd bet on Logan Paul and just fucking lose the fight.
Yeah, you
Call
were
it a day.
saying that. You were saying that.
Call it
That's
a
not
day.
gonna happen.
Call it a fucking day.
All today.
See ya. Go on a private island.
Floyd bets $1 billion on Logan and just takes a dive.
Oh, dude.
Just
oh, my God.
Bang. Bounces his head off the canvas. You know how much money he'd win?
Dude, imagine you just sacrifice your entire name.
To get rich as.
So rich.
By the way,
So rich.
if you
And
were to
everyone
win
would be like,
$30
"That's
billion, or if you were to win that much fucking money off Logan Paul, that shit would come out, and Floyd would be like
Hated.
prosecuted for it
Yeah, he would.
because that is a felony.
Yeah.
He'd have to have like friends of a friend of a friend who
Right.
he can't even trust.
You would have to have like 30 friends of friends of friends of friends.
make like
I'm going to look
Small,
up the odds.
like,
Right. The
million
current
dollar
odds
bets.
right now.
I don't think that there is a single chance that Logan Paul could win. But if Floyd dives, I mean, I guess, yeah, fucking.
if Floyd takes a dive, that will be the fun. That'll be the death of boxing.
People already bet on Logan
That
Paul.
will be the death of boxing.
Minus 3,500
Yeah, that.
plus
35.
1,200.
Ooh, wow.
I think if Floyd takes a dive, that'll be the end of it.
But there's also
If Floyd takes a
there's
dive,
more-
I think that'll be the end of boxing.
I think so as well.
I think that.
we're already at the end, dude. They're so desperate right now. Look at what we're
the
talking
heavyweight
about.
division is kind of kicking strong.
Yeah.
The heavyweight divisions are right. Then you have that dude Ryan Perez, who's okay at welterweight, super welterweight. I think he's super welterweight.
That's a problem. Too many belts.
There's so many fucking.
Way too many.
Well, the fact that there's 3 main promotions and
Yeah,
each promotion
and
has
have
different
the weight
weight classes. Like I think WBC has super welterweight, but WBA doesn't. Like that's wrong. That's totally wrong.
Yeah, it is fucking.
But at the end of the day,
Why should
boxing
you-
has been a sport for like 80 years, and it's not going to change.
No, what 200
Yeah, right.
almost. But why, as a champion or a contender for the championship, why should you have to unite 3 belts to be this legend? Why shouldn't you just be able to win your belt
I don't
and go?
I don't think that it's all about like having to do it. I just think that for the people that win a belt, that I think it's good in a sense that they have something else to strive for.
Yeah.
You know, because you have these guys like Khabib who win one title, defend it 3 times, and he's fine. He gets bored. You know, and then when you have, first of all, Manny Pacquiao has the record for most simultaneous belts at the same time. Do you know how many belts he held at one time?
Like 17 or something.
No, that's 8. Held 8 belts.
My actual guess was 9.
John Jones held more. Oh, you're talking about actual belts. I thought you were talking about defenses.
Oh, no. I mean, like this guy went to the ring with 8 fucking belts on his shoulders.
That's insane.
Like, he had, like, WBC welterweight, the whole thing. WBA super welterweight. He had a couple lightweights, and I think he had a fucking...
so dumb, dude.
But that devalues the belt.
Ruining
I don't think it does. Because I think that just means that Manny Pacquiao is the fucking best at one time.
To me, you ever seen those, like, cringy
MMA
TV shows where you see, like, a soldier and he's got a bunch of shit on his chest?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I see when I look at a guy with 8 belts.
Okay.
But I don't discredit Manny Pacquiao as being worth those 8 belts.
It's just Perez.
It just takes away the credibility of him.
Let me ask you guys this. Have you ever seen video of, I can't remember the boxing promoter, but it's Joe Rogan versus a boxing promoter. And it's on ESPN interview.
Destroys him.
Just the funniest shit.
Like 10 years ago. Oh, young Joe Rogan. Young.
And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm a huge fan of boxing.
Backwards hat, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But boxing is what it is, and it is one form of fighting. And it's a form of punching, and that's why you guys are a dying breed, and you will never last as long as the UFC. And the guy was like...
And then Joe's like, I love the sport. Starts naming off all his favorite guys. He's like, you don't love the sport. He's like, what do you mean? I fucking love the sport. It's a dying sport.
And then at the end, he blows him a kiss. It's fucking great.
That was hilarious, dude. Joe Rogan's savage.
Dude, he's either the most savagest person or the nicest dude.
He got up
nicest
in the
guy
comedian's
ever,
face
probably.
and he said,
I'm acting like I talked to him before.
Joke from fucking Family Guy. Fuck you.
Yeah.
He turned the crowd from booing Joe Rogan. Joe, remember Carlos? Yeah, that fucker.
Not
Dania or something. Well, Carlos, some fucking fake who stole a bunch of people's jokes. Joe Rogan was literally in his face screaming at him on stage of his own show. And Joe Rogan had the crowd booing him at the beginning. And by the end of his argument, the crowd was booing Carlos.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
That's funny.
Joe Rogan, he reminds me of my dad. He reminds me of my dad in the sense that he will argue you to his point, even if he doesn't believe in his point. Because he wants to win an argument. And he's good at it.
I think most
of the time he's going for the right reasons.
I think he's open-minded.
Yeah, I think so as well.
No, I agree with you. But when he gets in an argument, when he looks at someone and he's like, no, think about it this. Like, he's going to do everything to fight for that argument.
So when he's calling somebody for bullshit,
right?
That's what you mean.
Right.
Yeah, he kills him, dude.
Yeah.
Like, if Ben Shapiro, when he was on there with
they have great podcasts too. Ben Shapiro,
a Republican politician.
Awesome.
He basically was just not devaluing this guy's religion, but he was trying to take him away from his religion.
Right.
He's like, if that guy wasn't a lifelong, Jewish person, I would have convinced him.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And I love the fact that Joe Rogan can literally argue with a guy for 2 hours, and then in the next podcast be like, no, I love that guy. He's a great guy. I don't necessarily believe in everything he believes in, but he's a great guy, and I love having him on the show.
Just make this.
I'm like, oh, you fucking like, oh, come on,
you
man.
like that?
No, I don't, but it's like, I want to hate them. But you can't.
Let's make a Tuesday podcast called the Joe Rogan Podcast.
He doesn't hold grudges, man.
Yeah.
He doesn't hold grudges.
which is totally commendable. But at the same time, I'd like for him to say, like, I think it was bullshit.
He does
and
do that.
He
does do that. He does.
Some things. He's
What?
doing it now.
He does do that, bro. You gotta watch.
I think Joe Rogan's like good for people to listen to.
He's wrong.
He's
not always right.
No, there's things where he's fucking stupid about, but you can tell, and he doesn't admit to being like this all-seeing being. Pretty straightforward dude, and that's just what more of America needs now.
I agree, but I believe that I don't think there's anything wrong with someone speaking their mind. No. I will never think that.
Yeah.
I don't. Joe Rogan.
He's a perfect guy for that because he don't really.
Joe Rogan's been doing commentary and he's been doing podcasts for over 20 years.
Just going to ask.
Joe Rogan's ability to argue and to stick on points is just so much more developed than anyone he argues with. It's almost unfair to have an argument. And so for him to have an argument and push his agenda, which again is not wrong because he stands up for what he believes in.
Yeah.
But I think that for him to push the agenda like he does and to stay away from it is somewhat immoral. Now, it's on his podcast, and the people agree to join his podcast, so that's totally his right.
Mm-hmm.
But that just that's give and take for me. He's kind of he's pushing himself out here, almost like a politician.
So I like what you're saying with that, but I got to counter that.
Okay,
because he also does what you're saying. Let's say he's talking to somebody about something that he's passionate about, like fighting or hunting. Hunting, I've always noticed that he's really devout with it, no matter who he's going up against, whether he's talking in a friendly manner with somebody or trying to convince him otherwise, or just trying to convince him that, hey, hunting is not a bad thing.
Right.
When you say he pushes an agenda, I see him as more of a flexible character than that, because, when it's something that he's devout on, that he's like hunting, he would never back away from it.
Right.
But when he's still open to learn on that subject, he's pretty flexible, and he does take a point from every podcast.
Now, I would say that you can push an agenda while being flexible. So take hunting, for example, right? I would say that
MMA.
Joe Rogan
Joe Rogan review podcast.
I would say we're at an hour and 20. We can talk about
Whatever.
It's 9:30. If you're watching, thanks for
You
watching.
guys want to talk about SpongeBob?
Yeah. SquarePants.
So I would say that Joe Rogan talking about hunting, right? If we want to say that.
Hunting?
You can. I've seen him have a conversation or an argument with someone about the killing animals for food.
I only ate 10.
I'm listening.
No. I know
listening.
you are. I wasn't trying to interrupt you.
Oh, thank you.
So I've seen Joe Rogan have an argument with someone who believed, I believe it was Whitney Cummings,
Yeah.
who believed that hunting animals for sport is wrong.
Yeah.
Because, and her argument was, you don't need to hunt animals for food because you can go to the supermarket for food. In which Joe Rogan's very basic, very obvious argument was, they're hunting for food, so why can't I just do it and cut out the middleman, and it's going to save me money? And her argument to that was because there are people that designated jobs for hunting animals, and we don't need everybody hunting animals because it will change the sociological.
Oh, she's thinking long-term evolution.
Right. She's thinking that not everybody has to be killers. I see that point, and Joe did too. Joe was like, okay, I understand where you're going with this, but at the same time, it's not for everybody, and not everybody does it. But if I want to do it, I have the right to do it, which no one's arguing. No one's arguing that if you want to go hunting, you can go hunting. So what he did there was he kept the fact that hunting was right? Like, he didn't back off of that, but he was saying, like, I agree to your point. Like, you're making some good points, So he's being flexible, but he's keeping that agenda there to the point where they're like, okay, I have nothing else to say. Because I don't know how else to make a point because you kind of just said everything.
He is a crafty fucker.
He's definitely crafty. And I would just argue that he doesn't have to do that with everybody. And it seems like he does.
Well, I brought up Ben Shapiro before. He did stand fast on the whole trying to convince Ben Shapiro that his religion, like he wouldn't just take that his religion was his religion, he believes in it for the reason he believes in it at face value, and just accept it. He was kind of pushing it. He's like, but why is abortion bad if there is no God and they're just stem cells and they could be used for stem cell research later? And he stuck to that shit.
Right.
So I get what you're saying.
Joe Rogan, I would say that some people,
love him,
and I would also argue that it's mostly men, feel the need to be right in an argument, not only because they want to be right, but because they want to be more powerful than the person they're arguing with.
That's where mansplaining comes from, America.
I think that that's a total thing.
Can I say something? After you finish?
Sure. No, yeah.
After you go.
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay. How do you feel about people killing elephants?
I think elephants should all die. Every single one.
Yeah. How do you feel? How do you feel about people killing elephants and like giraffes and stuff?
I think it's stupid.
Because I'll change your mind.
But it depends on the
That's exactly what
it depends on the situation. Like if it's those controlled ones where it's used, where the funds for killing that elephant goes to more breeding of elephants, then it's okay.
They stopped it. So like people would buy a tag for like 20,000 or 50,000, and they stopped it. Joe, we're gonna talk about this too, because people online would like get a lot of hate and stuff. So now what they do is a lot of the time how they get the permits is because there is a rogue elephant killing people in villages and stuff.
Rogue elephant.
Yeah.
Not a rogue lion or some shit. Just a rogue
Watch MMA
elephant.
Complete.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Joe
So
Rogan
like, they
Review
have
podcast.
to kill it no matter what. You know what I mean? So like, why not just spend $50,000? Someone flies down and kills it.
Oh no! Here it
And
comes.
it gives it back to the people instead of them just killing it and just.
I have
Okay.
absolutely no opinion on killing elephants or wildlife such as that.
What about deer?
The only thing I would say is a problem, and I'm not going to say it is, but I would say I would assume it is because I know nothing on this field. I don't know anything about endangered species. I don't know anything about wildlife
All right,
killing
so just
geckos and things like
Shoot
that.
your theory then.
I would say
Non-biased opinion.
that any animal that has the possibility of becoming endangered, and you know that scientists have trends where they can see the amount that is decreasing per year in certain areas of Africa and Asia and all
They're
that.
tracking the spray
South
paint and
America.
shit.
I would say that any animal that is even close to being a possibility of being endangered should not be hunted.
I agree. Unless it's in the situation where they keep them on farms and the money can't be made like in Africa. Here's in very poor countries.
But let me ask
In
you this,
Africa.
Mark: how many elephant farms do you know of?
There's apparently quite a lot. in
There's
Africa.
reservations.
Yeah, there's reservations.
There is. Okay.
Yeah.
See, I didn't know that.
So what they do is they
Like,
go.
People that actually guard elephants.
Like
right?
if I went to Town Farm, there was some guy back there with like a couple elephants.
No,
Yeah,
no,
what the fuck?
No,
there's-
dead ass. Like,
Now, Zach,
it would be a lot bigger
these
than that.
reservations. You made a good point. They have armed guards and poachers. You know, how they'll come to cut the tusk of an
Yeah.
elephant, get the ivory. The guards defend them, but they
Right.
need finances, and they can only really get that from the
I
American
want to say a
bitch
point.
To his
To the
point,
ivory. What's the most purest ivory in the world?
rhino,
Nope.
whale,
It is. What kind of whale?
sperm whale.
Yep.
did you just want to say sperm?
No, I swear to God. I
Just-
literally saw that the other day on YouTube. I was like, yo.
Fun facts.
And they're a lot of money. If you but they're hard to
Biology,
find.
marine biology podcast. This is
Mark Poirier McGregor.
Poirier.
Poirier McGregor.
Actually, wait, what am I?
no,
fucking
you
doing?
just said Poirier.
I did.
Poirier
It's too late
McGregor.
now.
McGregor.
All right, we're gonna shoot a couple
I'm
now.
rooting for McGregor.
Elephants.
Kobe Jorge.
Kobe.
Kobe Jorge.
Kobe.
Kobe.
Glad we're on the same page. on that
Miocic
one.
Ngannou.
Ooh, Miocic.
He's been in Ghana for a little bit.
Until that first fight.
You go.
Miocic.
What did you say? Miocic?
Yeah, I do. Depends how Ngannou defends the takedowns, really.
I'm gonna say Miocic because I wanna see John Jones fight him, and I know if Ngannou wins against Miocic,
John Jones beats
it's
Miocic.
gotta it's you know what I mean?
I don't care who John
belt.
Jones fights. I want John Jones to fight either one of them.
I just
I
want to
think
see him
that-
fight.
I think you should fight Ngannou.
I
and
think
then
the
winner of that.
gate would be better for Jones and Ngannou, but I think the fight would be better for Miocic.
I think Jones would get knocked out by Ngannou. Saying it now.
How dare you?
I'm saying it now.
How dare
I
you?
am saying it now.
What
Should I just
round?
pick?
What round?
Okay.
If he keeps just standing,
What round?
is it a 5-round fight?
Is it a 5? Yes.
Second
It's a
round.
5-round fight.
Second round.
Oh yeah, main event.
Yeah.
No, I'm thinking nope. That was my
So
bad.
you think that they go a first round, and then in the second round, Ngannou
Early.
knocks out Jones?
Francis Ngannou, because John Jones, I just don't think he's got the chin.
I
Those guys
think.
supposed
How
to be-
dare you
I
say
don't
John Jones doesn't have
I
the
think
chin?
he's got the chin. And
Well,
I'm
here we go.
saying it now.
And this is my argument
Low
to
five.
you.
Middle five.
Well, argument to you is what is Ngannou gonna do when John Jones takes him to the ground?
Nothing. And that's where that's where I just read off Ngannou.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
So is he gonna knock him out in 10 seconds?
It depends. If John Jones wants to think that he can keep it standing with him. John Jones can beat him striking wise.
I'm sure
if
John
he can
Jones
survive,
would stay.
if he can survive the punches. But I don't see him not getting his head turned at 180 against Ngannou if he tries to stand striking
That
punches.
fight ain't over in 2 minutes. That's John Jones' fight.
Yes,
I think
that's a good statement.
John Jones, in a similar sense
Let me
of
get a nugget.
Floyd Mayweather, Logan Paul,
Do I have eaten 3 days?
I know.
John Jones is
Oh,
so much faster than Francis Ngannou.
Yeah,
That Ferguson got away.
but at heavyweight, Zach.
I don't give a shit if it's at heavyweight.
Zach loves John Jones.
Dude, John Jones is.
I love John Jones, but not as much as Zach loves John Jones. Zach, who do you? Here's a real debate. Zach, who do you love more, John Jones or Steve Miocic?
John Jones.
You do?
Name off some more fights.
Yeah,
all right. Blachowicz, Adesanya.
Adesanya.
Nice on. He's gonna go into that fight underweight.
Kevin Holland, Derek Brunson.
That's a tough one. Kevin Holland.
You? Don't. Yeah.
Kevin Holland.
Yeah.
All right,
Kevin Holland.
Another one.
But
Zach.
that fight don't excite me.
Piotr Jan,
I'm excited
Aljamain
for that.
Sterling.
Ooh, Piotr Jan.
Jan.
Sterling.
Okay.
I think Sterling really does.
We
I think
should
Sterling.
write this down, honestly.
I think Sterling takes him down and doesn't let him up.
Okay.
Moreno Figueiredo too.
Figueiredo.
Wanna know why?
Figueiredo.
He almost died 30 hours before that fight. Not died. I'm just over exaggerating on
very
that.
sick.
But he was super sick, dude. He was
sick
super
enough
sick.
to lose weight. That's bad sick.
And he would have won if he didn't cup check him.
Kamaru Usman, Gilbert Burns.
Usman.
Usman.
And
It's gonna
then
be a good fight, though.
I would love to put Gaethje in there, but we don't even know what Gaethje is.
Charles Oliveira versus. Who do you think he's fighting?
Oh,
Who do you think he's fighting?
Charles
Michael Chandler?
Oliveira could fight Gaethje.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah, I think that's going to be the fight.
That's the fight. Okay,
That,
so what do
honestly-
you got? I got Charles Oliveira.
If
I
that's
got
the
Charles
fight,
Oliveira, yeah.
if that's the fight,
Big if.
We're Dana White, though.
I think Gaethje has it.
Really? You think Gaethje has it? You don't see Gaethje getting taken down?
I do.
What
I
do you
see Gaethje getting taken down a couple times.
Okay.
But I think that Gaethje has been training wrestling since May for the Khabib fight and now afterwards. And I think that another 4 months before that fight starts, he'd be training wrestling because Charles Oliveira is a wrestler. I think that Charles Oliveira does not stand a chance on stand-up.
No. Yeah, I don't think so.
Gaethje stuffed 3 takedowns from Khabib. He got taken down twice, got submitted. Charles Oliveira he went for 2 submissions that whole fight with Ferguson. I think that if Oliveira just goes for wrestling, Gaethje will get up and then he will blow him away stand up. I'm giving it like a 55-45 Gaethje because I think Oliveira has a chance to take him down just like he did Ferguson the whole time. But I think that Gaethje will do a better job not getting taken down than Ferguson because Oliveira went 6 for 7 on takedowns against Ferguson.
That's pretty all right. I understand your guess now.
Yeah.
I got a fight.
Okay.
Maia for Holland.
Ooh, Holland.
Maia.
Just because I like Holland at this point. He's
I can't bet. I can't.
Kamaev Edwards.
Ooh, I got Leon Edwards. But so can I tell you guys something? I was one of those guys. I hated Holland. When he was 4. In the fucking 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, who the fuck is this guy? He's an asshole. Do a little bit more reading up into him. I'm like, okay, he's kind of credible, but I still think he's a bit of a dick.
Mm-hmm.
After that Jacare knockout, I'm like, okay, you've earned my respect.
Dude, he's legit as fuck.
You've earned it.
He's legit as fuck.
No, Kevin Holland.
Kevin Holland. Oh, he's legit.
Jacare is legit.
I'm just not hyped for him.
All right, I got a fight for you. I guys. Ready?
All right.
You ready?
I'm waiting. I'm ready.
Paulo Costa, Marvin Vettori.
Paulo
Paulo
Costa.
Costa. I know you think, Tori.
No, I'm not sure who to think in that. I think that's a really even fight.
Paulo Costa.
I would probably give it to Costa.
He's only lost to Adesanya.
If he doesn't get busted for steroids.
I hope
fight.
he doesn't go. I hope he takes that loss and learns to not just rush in, dude, and just be more patient. And don't let your emotions get the best of you.
If you're fighting a guy that's
for real,
if you're fighting a guy that has 8-inch reach advantage on you, you gotta kind of rush it. You know what I mean?
But
he's just such a Adesanya.
he was rushing in, dude, and he was like, "I don't feel nothing. I don't feel, dude, you got knocked out."
Yeah, that's the dumbest thing a fighter can
out.
say.
Yeah,
agreed.
And he's still walking towards him
That
with his hands
uppercut was
down.
nasty.
Pinpoint.
Nasty.
It was
Pinpoint.
you could see the striking. He was just outmatched.
No, there wasn't even. There was.
He was
They're not on the
he was
same
too
level.
outmatched.
Adesanya, John Jones.
Oh, John Jones. At heavyweight or at light heavyweight?
Jones.
At light heavyweight.
Oh
No, not heavyweight.
I was about to say,
Do you think Adesanya would go to heavyweight? I don't think he would.
dude, if he's got the balls,
Yes.
both 6'4",
Yes,
I mean,
he
his
would.
bone density
Yes,
looks
he
will be a
would.
little bit less.
I think he would.
Well,
Let me ask you this.
You
Let
would
me
get-
ask you
You
this.
get absolutely
John
demolished.
Jones at light heavyweights, man.
So heavyweight, 205 to 265.
Yes,
What weight do you think Adesanya weighs in if that's going to be heavyweight?
it's got to be above 225. He can't go under 225.
I don't think he would go over 225, which is why I don't think he would fight heavyweight at all.
he can't go under it because John Jones at two.
He's going to be
260.
245. He's going to be 245.
Yeah.
John Jones.
Well, after his first fight, who knows? With his next fight, he might be 250. Right.
Alex Pereira, Adesanya.
Come on, Adesanya.
Yeah,
Come on.
dude, that fight's gonna happen.
Adesanya.
I'll tell you right now.
Adesanya.
That way, he's the dude that got him on you.
Budweiser, please sponsor us.
Yeah,
King of beers.
King of all beers.
I don't think that John Jones is scared of anybody
no, you shouldn't be.
except for Israel Adesanya.
I think he is.
yeah, he's running.
He literally is.
I don't think
avoiding a little
he's
bit.
running. I don't think he's running.
I think he's
Why-
saying, why should this man get the fight me? That's what I think he's saying.
I agree with you. I completely agree with you. I think that John Jones is a
Cool
smart
inside
guy,
pocket
and
design.
he knows that if anyone deserves
Pretty
it,
neat.
Adesanya's getting there. But at the same time, like Adesanya's career, the next step is John Jones.
Just 30.
But for John Jones's career, Adesanya is not the next step. Adesanya needs to do more. Jones has gone up in a weight class. He's going for a second belt. He's not gonna go down in a
he's
weight
not going to
class.
second belt.
But why
He doesn't
wouldn't
have
he?
a belt right now?
No, he's going for a second belt. What do you mean?
He doesn't have a
Yeah, he
belt.
doesn't have a belt right now, but
Doesn't
he's
have a
going
belt.
for his second belt.
So John Jones also didn't have a belt, and then he came back and he got 3 more title defenses. Is that what it was? Yeah. He didn't have a belt then either. He'll do it. He'll
All
keep
right,
doing
I
it.
got another one for you guys. Rumble Johnson, Yoel Romero.
Yoel Romero.
Yo, Romero.
Wow.
100,
Okay.
100,
We talked about it. You
130%,
convinced me.
Zach.
Dude,
You convinced me that it was Yo Romero.
dude, like,
And I was trying to convince you Anthony Rumble Johnson.
I like
And you're
Rumble.
like, nah.
But
are you sure that's how it went?
That's how it went.
I am.
Dude,
That's
I'm
how it went.
thinking, like,
Dude.
Yoel Romero's going to be the favorite, but Rumble could knock out Romero.
I don't think so.
By the way,
I do not think so.
oh, I do.
You
Are
know
you
what?
totally knockout
You were
cold or
you were
TKO?
Anthony Rumble Johnson. I
Yeah,
was
I
Yo
think
Romero.
so.
That's what it
TKO
was.
or knockout?
TKO.
Yeah,
I don't think he knocks him out cold now.
Okay, I was about to say Zach. That's
Let
a
me
confident
say
knockout.
this though, because I know that you brought this up.
Mhm.
What weight class is that?
Via Twitter, Austin Barbie.
180,
That is at
185.
Well, Rumble's 205. I know he's been 185 before. He's been 170 before, but he's at 205 now.
Then it'll probably be 185.
195.
I think it's
190. just because they have to meet in the middle.
And I
Dude,
think
if
Yoel
Yoel-
Romero gets another 20 pounds.
Dude, I don't know what that guy will look like. Oh my
Dude, I
god!
don't even know.
And he'll be able to do steroids.
No.
I'm joking. I'm just shitting on Bellator.
Imagine if Bellator allowed PEDs.
they're
That'd be
just like
lit.
everybody get
That'd be so
roided out.
lit.
I want to see David Ortiz in this ring.
Do you guys think that they should be allowed to use IVs?
Yeah, I think they should.
I don't know enough about it to make a decision.
So the IVs apparently they people were actually getting injured. And I don't know of dying, but it was
Well, it
really
helps
damaging
medicine
them.
get to your bloodstream right away. It's a
And-
quicker process.
and it
That's what
helps
is.
water. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they can
no,
put
it
on-
helps for cutting weight. That's what That's what
So
it's used for.
here's the thing. I don't get a problem with IV when they don't do same day weighing. I wish they would do same day weighing, but they don't. They do the day before.
That's interesting you bring that up.
That's
a debate for
that's been
itself.
That's been talked about too.
I think it's
It
stupid.
will never happen though.
No,
It sucks.
no, because
Because the way the UFC is built, fighters fight in the weight class below what they should fight. That's just what they do. And it gives them a better look and it gives them more power. But everybody drops weight to fight, besides a couple people. here and
Except
there. You
for
got like Jorge
except for
Masvidal.
Adesanya.
You got like Jorge Masvidal, Adesanya, who only dropped like 10 pounds, maybe. Adesanya
helps-
drops like 10
dude,
pounds.
that helps them out so
Does.
much, man.
It
That
does.
that's such a huge advantage going into
But
a
at
fight.
the same
That's the
time-
reason why he knocked out Darren Till.
But at the same time, if
100%.
you got Paulo Costa, who should be fighting like heavyweight, and now he's fighting middleweights with guys who bench press 100 pounds less than him. He's going in stronger than everybody he fights for. Granted, it didn't help with Adesanya, but that's an outlier case because Adesanya's the best striker in the fucking world.
No, Jorge
And,
can't.
yeah,
can't
definitely
Move,
in
can't
that
Jorge
manner.
can't
See,
move up.
that's-
Are we talking about Jorge moving up or Adesanya moving up?
No, Jorge ain't moving up
We're,
for
we-
shit.
we're just talking about people cutting weight.
Oh, okay. No, yeah. People cutting weight. I don't know about that. I think
George Masvidal.
I'm on the fence with the IVs because it's like you shouldn't need an IV if you're in that weight class. Like
Yeah, I like that.
you know like what weight you're in, like and have to make. So like, why do you need an IV? But it's like it helps them out so much
to just get that water in quicker.
Yeah, and just to like, don't you want to see a good fight?
Let me ask you this though, and none of us know the answer to this, but I'm going to throw it out there, right? So IVs were banned like 3 years ago, 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Do you think that
Still in the window
IVs really helped that much, or do you think that fighters were just so used to IVs up until that point that when it got stopped, fighters were like, "Oh,
that's what I'm saying. Like they know their weight,
right?
They know their weight class." So,
for instance, Masvidal cuts like 8 pounds to go welterweight, which is 170.
Yeah.
When he had IVs, he was cutting 25 pounds and fighting lightweight.
Yeah, so that fucks up the sport, honestly.
It does. It does fuck up the sport. Yeah. But you want to hear my take?
Sure.
I watched an old MMA fighter documentary. It was before the guy even got to the UFC. He was just a regular MMA fighter. He said that he would cut like 15, 20 pounds, fighting at like 170 before the fights, and he would get an IV, fresh as daisies.
So what weight class was he? Can I ask?
I think he was 155. I think so. But he was cutting. He was cutting quite a lot of weight.
That's a lot for lightweight.
Yeah.
20 pounds for a heavyweight isn't bad.
He was he was cutting a lot of weight, and he said he'd get the IV in, and it wouldn't even feel like he dehydrated himself.
I think that is a form of performance enhancing drugs.
Yeah, it's cheating.
It's not drugs.
IV.
But, yeah. Well, it's not drugs, but it's enhancing your performance, man. Because if you can drop 20 pounds in 2 days from an IV,
yeah.
But if
it's kind of like
everyone's doing it,
if there's a tax write-off and it's allowed in the legal system, why don't you take the tax write-off? That's kind of what it is.
So the question is, should IVs be banned?
Yeah, they should, and they should do same-day weigh-ins.
Yeah. I don't go either way for me, but
why can't they? Jiu-jitsu, it's a thing.
Well, that's different.
Yeah,
you can be 6 foot, and the guy be 5'6", and you get your ass beat.
Yeah, but
that's what I mean.
So
but jiu-jitsu has the same weight classes. Like a guy who's 180 can in a legal sanctioned jiu-jitsu match.
They're
guy who's 180 pounds doesn't fight 150.
They're a little more leaning, like 5 pounds.
Definitely.
But like you don't, like you're gonna know your weight.
Right.
Yeah.
You're gonna go in that morning.
It would change the UFC too big though. That's what I'm getting at. Like I understand this.
Better for the sport, bad for the UFC.
Yeah, because you're gonna get a lot of Jorge Masvidals.
Here's why I think that they can't do same-day weigh-ins, and it's not because fighters have to like rebuild themselves days after whatever it happens. If you miss weight, you get like 2 hours to do it. And so, are you gonna weigh in like an hour before the fight, or 2 hours before the fight?
Unless,
or are you gonna 10 minutes before the
fight? Or
are
you gonna make a guy wake up at 8 a.m. in a day where he has to fight at fucking midnight? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good point. That is a good point. But then again,
I like the idea because I think that
it's your responsibility as a fighter to make the weight.
If you hear Joe Rogan commentating on Figueiredo, said it last pay-per-view, and he said it 255. He was like, I want to see Figueiredo step up scale. Figueiredo weighs in at 125, and he comes into the ring at like 148.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
You know what I mean?
Big fucking guy.
He's so big, dude. Yeah, he honestly said they don't think he was 155.
Dude, you could see the difference between Moreno and him. Like, oh my god, it was crazy.
I would love to see Davison Figueiredo fight Peter Yan.
He can move up in a division. How old is he?
31.
He can move up. He can move up and face
Dillashaw. Why not? Can I ask you that? Because you said that about John Jones at heavyweight. Why don't you think champions deserve champions at the next division?
Because like you gotta prove a point, dude, in that division first. Like it's kind of bullshit. And we've talked about that. It is bullshit. Like look at over Teixeira. That guy's fucked. He's fucked. He's 41. 41. And he's been in that division for a long ass time.
He only wants a belt. He deserves a title shot.
You're going to give it to Adesanya just because he wants it? Just to make you more money? Come on.
I think that division is...
I'd love to see that fight.
I think it's an exception because there's only been one title fight since it's been vacated. And so because of that, Because there's been one title fight since John Jones left the division. I think that there should be more fights within the division. Besides that, I think that champions should be able to fight other champions because they've deserved it. They've earned it.
Depends how many title defenses you have, dude. You know what I mean? Like John Jones deserves it.
3 title defenses. Because then you're proving your worth. There's champions who get the belt.
I'd even say like 5.
Like I would say 3.
Like look, Brock. Like
because you got 4 title fights
say 5.
that way.
Look, Brock. Got the fucking belt. Lost the belt.
Yeah.
But then you just be like, then you have a problem with. You're gonna have the same problem with fucking boxing, dude. Everyone's chasing fucking belts, and you're gonna have a guy walking out there with 6, 8 belts on.
But the UFC
You know what I mean? Like I don't want that shit. I only want one belt.
The UFC in total has probably like 7 belts, right?
Yeah. I'd rather have 25 people going after one belt instead of this guy has to fight that
There's
guy.
technically 11.
Holy fuck!
There's technically 11, but right now Amanda Nunes has the bantamweight and featherweight women's titles. So that's kind of like a one championship.
No way. So there's 125 men's.
There's 7 guys and there's 4 women.
Okay, no, I'm talking separate. Like there's 7 guys. There's 7 guys.
Yeah.
You don't have as much as boxing. Like,
well, that's because they have 3 different promotions
and all.
Well, they're gonna have to create more belts, dude. If everyone's going after these,
no, they won't.
Dude, they should make a BMF title for each weight class.
Isn't that just
I don't know.
Isn't that just the
number one contender?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I think that adds something to it. I think that it was done poorly the first time. It wasn't done poorly.
Is giving you your belt.
It wasn't done
that's
poorly,
stupid.
but
That
it
was
just
stupid.
became that way because Masvidal won by a doctor stoppage.
Wasn't it funny how the fucking Rock didn't even feel comfortable in there? He was just like,
yeah.
All right, here's some 2 real bangers.
The
Here's your belt.
Diaz brothers hate The Rock.
Yeah, obviously.
They hate The Rock.
Who cares?
But
Who cares about the fucking Rock?
Here's the deal.
No, I know.
That's exactly what we're saying. He's just a showman.
Yeah.
He's in the ring with 2 actual pivots.
But I think a BMF title would be cool to do.
Yeah.
Fuck The Rock.
Dude,
And you could even
I love him.
incorporate
there's
different
so
rules.
much growing the UFC can do.
There absolutely
There only is growth. There's no like
it's the train took off, man. There's no way it's going back anymore.
it's going to be probably as big as boxing was, and then
You could even do catchweight belts.
I'd love that. I would love the catchweight belt.
You could do like a 190 catchweight belt. You could do a 215 catchweight belt. You know what I mean? Like shit like that.
165, 160. We
240.
speculated on this.
UFC needs
Jones.
to make a super heavyweight division.
Yes, 100%.
100%. They need to go 265 plus. No limit.
Greg Hardy would be fighting at 300 pounds, comfortable weight.
Dude, Brock Lesnar would come back and fight at 320.
Probably
you
would.
tell me you don't want to fucking see that?
Well, he's old now, but like,
dude, he's like 43. He could fight
off of steroids.
Yeah, maybe Brock could get off steroids. Maybe
He might have a heart attack if he does.
Dude is going to if he is ever
He's
brought back into the UFC, he will be suspended for 6 months right away. You know that?
Yeah.
Only had like what, 4 fights
In the UFC?
Yeah,
no, he had like 10.
7.
He had like 10.
He had a lot. But he got like the title shot in his second fight, third fight.
Third fight.
Yeah, which is crazy.
But UFC was different back then.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, yes, he got a title fight in his third fight, but he ended up winning it by decisive action. And then he won 3 more fights after it.
We got to get back to our point. So you think Figueiredo deserves a title shot? Because you said it was only
Yeah, I think. Well,
Adesanya was an exception.
I think that in his circumstance right now, Figueiredo needs to fight Moreno again.
Oh no, 100%.
And then if Figueiredo beats Moreno, then I think if he wants to step to bantamweight, he would get a title shot. Yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't like to see that, but that's just my point of view. Like, yeah, that's my point of view. I wouldn't like to see that.
I'm of the opinion that people shouldn't go for double belts.
Yeah,
it has to be
rules of sport.
It has to be a Conor McGregor or a John Jones.
Yeah,
I don't even think Israel Adesanya should go to light heavyweight. I think that if Israel Adesanya wants to challenge for the light heavyweight belt, he should drop the middleweight belt. That's what I think. And then if he loses to Blachowicz, he can go right back to the middleweight championship, and he can fight Robert Whittaker for it, or Paulo Costa, or whoever the fuck has it.
Dude, Kamaev Adesanya would be a great fight at light heavyweight.
No, light heavyweight? Dude, Kamaev light heavyweight? Jesus
He's
Christ.
called out people in light heavyweight, dude.
You know he fights welterweight?
Yeah, I know, which is crazy. Like he's talked about 3 divisions. Like this guy could be the first 3 holder of a belt Not saying it's going to happen because it's too crazy, but
The fact that that's even being talked about is ridiculous to me. The man's had 3 UFC fights against 3 no-namers. One of them is
Gio Mearshart was a
one of
kind
them's
of
a
a name.
little better, but he was also 36. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, but I don't know, dude. He's something. I don't know if there's a hype factor. I don't know
It's
what
100%
it is.
hype.
Oh, it's hype, but it's so crazy. Like, is this dude just gonna keep knocking dudes out like that? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Like,
Absolutely not.
there's gonna be a stop at some point.
100%.
But
He's gonna fight someone who's not
Leon-
ready for it.
Leon Edwards is not that guy that's
I
coming
agree.
off
I
of a
think
2-year, 3-year fight. 2 years and
Look
not
at Brian
fighting.
Ortega, man. He didn't
No,
fight for 2 years.
I
And
know.
He fucked up court.
I know.
Green
I
Zombie.
bet I chose him to win. I
me too.
chose him to win,
Yeah.
and he deserves a title shot too. That's another.
Featherweight division is probably the least talked about division we have on this podcast. By the way,
He deserves a title shot too. 100%.
I think
100%.
that-
He's been in the UFC for a while. Coming off an injury, he was winning before the injury.
so
Coming off a fantastic win. He deserves
before his fight against Korean Zombie, he fought for the title, and he got
You talking Brian Ortega?
Yeah.
and he got the most significant strikes against in UFC history. Max Holloway beat the pulp out of this dude.
Yeah.
And so he beat Korean Zombie.
Mhm.
I think that Ortega Holloway 2 has to happen. The winner. Well, actually, I think Ortega Holloway 2 happens, and Volkanovski fights Magomed Sharapov. And then
You like that?
the winners fight each other. That's what I think the featherweight division should do. Featherweight division is very top heavy right now.
Very stacked. And
No, it's not. I don't think it's stacked.
No.
I think it's very top heavy.
under talked about and underrated.
I agree. I think that
If they have 2-3 more names in there, though, it's like the light heavy. It's like not the light heavyweight. What's the one that Connor's in? I always get lightweight. Light heavyweight.
I
The
think-
most stacked division right now.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
that the featherweight top 5 is brutal, and then the bottom 10 is
Oh,
especially with Yair Rodriguez getting fucking
Shit.
suspended.
What?
You ready
Ready for what?
to end this shit? We're almost at 2 hours.
Yeah, I'm close. I'm just about to bring that up, but I didn't want to do it.
All right, we got 8 minutes till 2 hours. We can do 8 minutes.
Yeah, let's do it 2 hours.
So like, Max Holloway should have won the featherweight championship in the first place.
Mr. Miyagi shit.
We watched that. We watched that second fight. Holloway should have won the second fight.
Yeah.
Volkanovski won the championship rounds, but Holloway won the first 3.
I watched that today, by the way.
That fight? Oh, Mr. Miyagi.
Yeah,
Right.
I watched that today with my brother again. Dude, I mean a snowman.
Did you get the
Killer snowman.
Nice.
Killer snowman. I was whipping those snowballs at mine. What the hell is
The
that?
Bills are just in shorts and stuff.
Yeah, just
Who's playing tonight? Who's Thursday Night Football tonight?
shit.
Who's
Yeah.
on right now?
I've come to forget that there's a game on Thursday.
I know we did that last week. The Patriots were playing.
Is it the Bucks? No.
I don't think that there's a game.
Oh no, there is. It's
Chargers. Raiders.
Chargers. Yeah. Yep.
There's
Had
2
Mike Williams.
Saturday night games this week.
What?
Bills, Broncos, and Packers, Panthers are
Oh
on
no,
Saturday night.
no bye weeks. No more bye weeks. Right? I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's week 15. I don't think they have bye weeks this late.
So, what do you think about Brian Ortega? Do you think he deserves a title shot?
Not yet, but he definitely deserves a chance to
I think
climb
he
the
does.
ranks.
So
Wait,
here's the thing. Featherweight division's in a very precarious spot because they don't have a number 1 contender right now. Because it should be Max Holloway. It could be Brian Ortega.
but Max Holloway said
So Magomed Sharapov has claims to it too.
Max Holloway said he would come back to fight Khabib. He wants to fight Khabib. Obviously, who doesn't want to fight Khabib?
Right.
But Max Holloway's still in the fight game.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, he's still there.
Yeah,
He's
fucked
gonna.
up.
He's like
Oh yeah, against
he's
Khabib.
the second best, if not the best fighter in that division. But he lost 2 in a row. Lost 2 in a row to Volkanovski. He can't get the third one yet. So he's gonna have to fight someone. And then if he beats them, I think he gets the third
Versus Brian Ortega.
He's kind of a hype
Right,
guy too. I don't really
That's
have
right.
It's the perfect fight because Ortega's ahead of him on the divisions, but Ortega got dominated by Holloway. So now it's Ortega's time to get a rematch.
Ortega's time to shine. That's
He's
100%.
looking good.
Great. That was probably one of his best fights he
He
had.
did look great, but that's when you got to realize the difference between Volkanovski, Holloway, and the rest of that division.
And Zombie.
No, because Ortega fucked up
Yeah.
Chan Sung Jung. Fucked him up. 40-54. Or 50-44.
He's pretty good.
Korean Zombie's great.
Yeah.
And Ortega fucked him up.
Yeah.
So that's, you can even say, like,
I'd like to
It's-
see him fight Holloway.
it's like Volkanovski, Holloway. Ortega to beat rest of the division. You know what I mean? Like, that is top heavy.
Not too stacked of the
So
division, but the
top-heavy.
top 3 are hard.
And then you got Yair Rodriguez, who belongs in that top 5, but he didn't put where he was in the USADA app, so he's out for 6 months.
What a waste of a fighter.
It's not a waste of a fighter. It's USADA being fucking dicks.
Yeah, it's a waste of a fighter's potential because he's out for 6 months.
Michael Bisping is the funniest guy ever to talk about USADA. Yeah, so great.
It's because as much as he was pushing for non-steroid use in the UFC, they still pissed him off.
Yeah, Michael Bisping got bopped by USADA too, by the way.
No one pushed harder for that than you just beat.
Yep.
Nobody.
Literally
Nobody
left the sport for years.
He thought a couple guys that he fought.
And then Michael Bisping
were on some shit.
Right. Because
He was getting pissed.
John Fitch was.
Yeah.
BJ
That's
Penn
the one.
was.
That's the one.
Yeah.
John Finch.
And what's his name? Johnny Hendricks really was. It's so funny to look at fighter stats before and after USADA.
Yeah.
Like Chris Weidman is the biggest one. Chris Weidman was 14-0.
Belfort.
Well, Chris Weidman was 14-0, and since USADA, he's like 1-5. Right?
Yeah.
That's crazy. You got Vitor Belfort's another one who, as soon as USADA came in, he's like, all right, I'll fuck off and go to Japan. Literally went to Japan. He didn't even fucking bother with it anymore.
Who?
Vitor Belfort. Have you ever heard of the TRT tour? Do you know the TRT tour? So there's this drug, TRT 400. And it's a
I've never heard of that. I thought
drug.
that was just a clever wordplay.
So Vitor Belfort was a light heavyweight for a long time. And then USADA came in the picture, dropped down to middleweight. That's when he got front kicked by Anderson Silva. And then there was a 2-year period. It was like after USADA's first deal and before their next deal. Because their next deal was like 12 years when we're still in it. But their first deal was only like a year or two. That first year or two, he went to middleweight, got fucked up by Anderson Silva. Then USADA went away for a year. He went to light heavyweight, jacked, ripped, and he fucked someone up so badly that they were like, all right, we got to wait until USADA comes back for you to fight again. And then he was like, oh, okay, I'll just go to Japan.
Wow. What a dick, dude. Like, I hate people like that. That's like cheating.
They fucked the sport up.
They do.
Okay, you still talked about it, dude, because he's a really big name for the sport.
Imagine if someone...
Just because he did steroids and fucked people up.
Imagine if Tyreek Hill...
Everyone was doing it.
Imagine if Tyreek Hill was doing all this shit, and then in a year he got bopped for steroids. And then he was like, oh, I'm going to go to the CFL.
Yeah, but they don't have
No one's
testing
gonna
as
watch it
hardcore as the
now.
UFC.
Dude,
But that's what I'm saying. No one's watching him either, but he's getting paid.
and then he was like, I'm going to the CFL. Bro,
Vitor is not UFC.
I know, but bro, you're telling me people wouldn't watch the CFL?
Of course they would, yeah.
I'd fucking watch it. I'd fucking start.
Then again, the CFL is not paying him $500 million.
No, they're paying him
Not yet.
$500,000.
No, they're just not.
No, they'll give him something.
The CFL isn't even worth $500 million.
They probably pay him $2 million.
Yeah.
At the most.
All right, we got 2 minutes.
Yeah, we gotta hit the 2-hour mark.
Jake Paul
Versus
Conor McGregor.
Conor.
Jake Paul versus D. Devlin. Jake Paul versus Amanda Nunes.
Jake Paul versus Amanda Nunes. Amanda Nunes. I'm serious.
What is this, a boxing match?
MMA, I think.
Boxing.
I got Jake Paul.
I got Amanda Nunes.
I got
don't think
Amanda
it fucking
Nunes.
matters.
I got Amanda
I really
Nunes.
don't think it matters.
I got Amanda Nunes.
I really don't.
If I've said this whole time that
She's so
Amanda
much
Nunes
experience.
would beat Henry Cejudo in a boxing match, then I gotta say that she would beat Jake Paul in a boxing match.
I get Jake Paul in the boxing.
You think she would beat Henry Cejudo, which is crazy.
Yeah,
because Henry Cejudo's a gold
I
medalist
think
wrestler.
I
And
actually
think-
said that. I said that Henry Cejudo.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
okay.
said this. I'm the only one that says Amanda Nunes might beat her.
I don't even have an opinion. I just need to see that fight.
Testosterone makes a huge difference after 27 years. Okay, listen. She's got a higher amount than normal.
Probably has a
That's
hotter
for damn
fucking
sure.
wife than Henry Cejudo.
She actually is.
I know.
I feel like she might have a hotter wife than Henry Cejudo. She's taller. She's a lot bigger than Cejudo, by the way. She's a lot bigger.
Definitely more dominant than Cejudo.
She's like 5 inches bigger than Cejudo. Cejudo's like 5'4".
I love
Jake Paul, Conor.
just thinking about Cejudo.
Jake Paul, Conor.
Conor. Yeah, Conor.
Now, all right. Well, when Paul said this, I said this. I don't know. Yeah, this is before. Oh, this is before the pod. You were upstairs. Would you rather face Floyd Mayweather or Conor McGregor
In a boxing match?
or
In a fight or a boxing match? I'd rather fight
a
Floyd
boxing
in a
match?
In a boxing match, I'd rather fight Conor.
Yeah.
Strictly boxing with boxing rules, Connor. But in a fight, I prefer to fight.
Yeah, in MMA, I'm fighting Floyd.
Just tackle.
Yeah.
It's a street
I
fight.
think I could beat Floyd in an MMA fight. I really do.
It's a street fight,
Yeah.
baby. Let's go.
So you think Jake? How many? I don't know. That's a good fight. Not a good fight. Good entertainment.
Yeah, it's good entertainment. It's not.
Not a good fight. It's good entertainment, and it's
Right.
like maybe.
maybe,
It's always that
but no,
chance,
but
maybe.
no.
That's why everyone buys it. That chance, maybe this dude's gonna get knocked out and be just completely ruined for his whole career. Like,
We just really want to see the Paul brothers get fucked up.
like, what if Conor McGregor did get knocked out?
That would
Bro,
be so
Who the
awful.
fuck's gonna buy that whiskey?
Jake Paul is. He's gonna drink the shit out of it.
Dude,
Nobody's behind
Jake
Mark.
Paul would be a goddamn
If he
superstar,
if
man.
he boxed
it
Conor
would-
McGregor, he would beat him.
That would be so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that guy's
scary.
ego would get inflated to places it hasn't even been yet, which is scary.
He'd probably end up killing people
Dude.
out of ignorance.
Wait, who would he?
Just be
If Jake Paul beats Conor, then Jake Paul is gonna box Floyd Mayweather. That's what's gonna happen.
oh yeah.
All right, that's
We
about
gotta
it.
go.
Yeah,
That's-
we really have
we're
to go.
talking about false realities here.
All right, thank you everybody for
Really,
watching.
that shit's gonna happen.
Definitely tune in next week when we do our superlatives
Yeah.
for the year of 2020 in UFC, which has possibly been the best year of
Yeah.
the UFC. So definitely want to check that out.
And
Gonna be
live
good-
stream
good pod.
the fight night this Saturday. I'll do it.
Yeah, you'll do it.
Yeah,
Starts at main card starts at 7.
that's perfect. I don't have to stay up for a long time. That's
Word. All right, so yeah, come check us out Saturday night when Austin does the live stream. Come check us out January 23rd
Fight
when
card.
we live stream the UFC 257
Maybe
pay-per-view,
Mark will come.
headlined by Conor McGregor. Definitely come check us out next week, every Thursday night at 8
The
p.m. You can check out all SFBN social medias, SFBNRI on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, Twitter, LinkedIn, all that shit. Come check out Title Time Throwdown, coming to you live every Thursday at 7 p.m. before us. And that's the game with Matt Jolis I believe every other day at 4 p.m. We got a bunch of podcasts going on at SFBNRI. I try to check out them all. I want to thank both of you guys.
At 8 p.m.
One of the
Yeah.
two, Zach.
Eastern time.
8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yes.
That's 2 hours before what it is right now for the one person watching, so you know.
So, yeah, but
Thank you for staying on the.
You're gonna say
pod
that
the
shit in
entire
the
time.
very beginning of the pod.
You're watching MMA Complete. I'm just trying to block out Austin right now. That's
Yeah, what
really
the
all
hell?
I'm trying to do.
MMA Complete.
SFBNRI. All right, we're at two.
Title Town Throwdown have one? Show them that
We're
one.
at 2. I don't have the overlay. For
Oh,
that.
okay. All right.
I can run another promo real quick now. I'm just gonna end it because I'm getting tired and I need a cigarette.
Yeah.
Thank you everybody for tuning in. We're out of here. Check us out next week and Saturday night for the fight night.
Later.
Thank